Episode of Much to Do About Nothing, the show where me and Joel come together and mix our love for sports, anime, TV, movies, all the stuff no one cares about. I'm your host, Juwaan, and joined with me as always is my co-host, Joel. What's up, Joel?
What's up, Juwaan?
I know we usually start with sports, but this week I want to start with something very dear to my heart because I believe Joel was part of it. And it's very, to me, I think it was great. So I want to give Joel credit because Joel wrote the latest episode of Power Book 2 Ghost. And I say that because, not because of what happened, I say that because Joel 100% wrote the that lawyer said Ghost wrote. Joel, it was the one thing that 50 Cent said Joel can do. When Joel said, how can I stick it to this fucking kid? And 50 was like, I got the perfect idea. I want you to write a note that would symbolize what Ghost would say if Tariq ever got arrested. And you said, oh, I got the perfect phrase to give him. Give me a pen. Give me a pen. I got the perfect thing to write. So Joe, I want you to speak about this episode because I know it had to be fulfilling for you, even though he's gonna get out. He's and here's the crazier part. The fact that you're arresting him so early means once he does get out, he will never be arrested again. Because it's just one of those things where it's like,
well, it'll be a while.
Arrested now, so it won't be appealing if you do it again. That's why it was so big when Ghost got arrested, because once he got out, that was it. There was never no more prison talk after that.
Really, no.
I'm like, you doing it so early kind of just lends us to believe this is it. He will literally at some point be as good as Ghost to avoid ever having to be in the cell again.
That's what I think.
But I'm sorry, I do want to pass it over, but I couldn't stop laughing because I'm like, I said to myself halfway through, I'm like, what's going pretty well for Tariq? I wonder what Joel has planned. And then boom, Joel was the one that slipped that cop that information. Like, hey, step on Tariq. And he was just like, yeah, I will. And then he walks in there, finds the badge in the drawer, and then it is just game over. Walk me through, Joel.
Well, let me start by saying I didn't do it by myself. I got a lot of help.
It was Joel and Ghost in the same room. Like, how can we end this kid?
As he was getting escorted to prison, I was like, "Where are the credits at?" Like, I was like,
Joel's like, "How can we end the series today? This is it. This is the story. This is it. This is all we need."
How it should end, honestly. This is where it is.
Joel's like, "I'm sorry. Did we take lethal injection off the table? Was that not part of it?"
It's the weirdest feeling because he got arrested, and it's like he should be arrested. It's not like I felt bad. Like he did kill that guy.
He did.
You really supposed to make me feel bad? That motherfucker deserves to go to
jail. But it's funny because it's only funny because he's being arrested for the one thing he did not do. So when you look at it, you kind of go, well,
he's getting charged for both murders. Now, he didn't kill the cop. That is true. That was frame job, obviously, because Kane framed him, and it worked, obviously. But he did kill whatever his name is, Professor, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, Milgram? Professor Milgram?
No, I can't remember his name.
Okay, but he's dead anyway.
Yeah, he's dead anyway. The guy that he shot in the last episode, because he was trying to extort him and shit. Like, so that's exactly what the one cop is trying to tell him. He's like, this is what I'm trying to tell you. This is exactly what, and the other guy won't listen because he thinks it's the athlete. Zeke, hard-headed white boy. Come on, man, listen to the other cop. It was just so fulfilling a little bit, but also because it's happening, it happened so soon in the episode and so soon in the season. I'm like, He's gonna get out of jail. So like wasteful, but that's why I'm like, just end it now because this motherfucker deserves to go to jail. Why is he's not? He's at fault for so much shit that's going on right now. And I love the note from Ghost. I wish he's added "you fuck you little boy" somewhere in there, but he didn't. He was too courteous, in my opinion. You deserve to be, little bitch. Oh God! All I tried to do was do good by you, you little fucker.
Well, he was trying to get Tariq thrown in jail in that last season. He was like, yo, just do it. It's cool. What do you mean it's cool? I ain't got no muscles. How you think I'm gonna survive this?
Yeah, but he wouldn't have stayed in jail. He would have went to jail, but he wouldn't have done long time. And he could have went back to school. The whole point was, look, you go down because you did kill the dude. Again, there's another person he killed. This kid has killed like 3 people. Like, come on, he's a fucking murderer.
You're not wrong, Joel, but it can't come from another active murderer. Like it can't be. It can't be, hey, you killed this guy. You got to go down. And it's like, well, what about all the people you killed? That's not the conversation here.
Yeah, those people deserve to die. Actively getting in the way. The problem is Tariq always is like, he just makes shit worse. He just makes shit worse. And now that he was finally he was still doing the wrong shit. The problem is he's in a bad place, but it's the only way to make the money that he needs to make to do what he's got to do. I get it. And so that's why he will become Ghost in the long run. But look, bro, he gave him the money. All he had to do was finish college. And that was money his father gave him, or was going to give him, as long as he passed, right?
Right.
And so it's like, give him this fucking letter if he goes to jail for murder. This is what he deserves.
But do you know how insane you have to be to prepare that letter?
That's how much he knew him. He knew that little fucker was never going to stay out of trouble. He knew it. He knew it. Kid had everything. Kid had everything he wanted.
He would have avoided all of this had he actually gotten the money and not had to go throughout all of school to get said money. He wouldn't have went into this life.
No, but at the same time, made him struggle for it, made him earn it. You know?
And he's gonna be much better for it at the end of this when he becomes the new Ghost.
Right. We'll see if he doesn't die. But I know.
Bro, can I say how proud of him I was? He had the most Ghost moment of all of Power when he's in the car with Monet and she's just like, all right, tell me one reason why I shouldn't shoot you in front of all these people walking on this very busy street in front of a courthouse. And he goes, well, your kids. What about my kids? Well, she stole your money. He's still being super gay. And then that one is the one who
he's still being super gay.
It's the one who replaced your cocaine with sugar. And she's just like, damn.
All behind your back.
Like he started throwing everybody under the bus. And and I was just sitting there like, damn, hold on. She just helped you. Diana just helped you. How you throw her under the bus?
Oh,
like I needed my sister.
I'm gonna rush. I'm gonna show up to court, beat the fuck up.
He's like, hey man, I need to get my sister by any means necessary. So I'm gonna have to throw a couple of y'all into this bus.
Little girl's probably better off in fucking foster care.
Which is so crazy because it's like that little girl is going through so much. I lost my big sister, then I lose my dad, then I lose my mom, then I lose my grandmother. Now I lost my brother. She has to feel just like, yo.
She's the one I feel the worst for. Like, that little girl don't deserve none of that bullshit, bro. None of that bullshit.
None of it.
A little brother, her brother's fault, everything.
Bro, I'm telling you, you could literally trace back to when Tariq messed up everything. And it's season.
I gotta be a gangster. I'm a fucking gangster. I'm a rich gangster. Fuck you, little boy. You serious? Fucking ruin everything because you want to be gangster. sell drugs. Fucking asshole.
But it's so crazy because like he didn't even go about it the right way. Like if he had went to Tommy and said like, hey, show me the ropes, Tommy would have showed him. He would have showed him. Now his dad wouldn't have, because we both stress how much his dad just wanted to get out of the game. But Tommy would have walked him through it. So for him to go to Kanan when Tommy is just right there, it was just like, all right, you're already starting this off horribly. Like you were just ruining
that little boy. He's like, this boy he's just like when I wanted to do it. Except this kid has money up his ass, and you don't. When you were
right. And it's so funny because now that we've seen Raising Kanan, their stories are nowhere similar at all.
They're similar. They were similar in the fact that they both wanted to get in the game.
Right, but Tariq did it just to be vengeful. Kanan did it because it's legit just in his veins. Like that's just who he is. That's who he always wanted to be.
But now, as we also know, he is the son of a police officer.
Right. Which is gonna get real interesting. Yeah. But yeah, you look at Tariq and you're just like, you had a penthouse. like you had a penthouse in the sky.
Everything you fucking wanted. It's just like
you had a breakfast buffet when all your dad used to do is grab a strawberry and leave. Like you had the life. I don't understand where it's just like, you know what? I want this illegal life that I see my dad and Tommy going through. It's just like
I want this illegal life.
Yeah, I don't understand.
And I want it now.
Legal life you can go through. Work at your dad's club, get all the free cocaine and white women you want, and I'm just like, you want to sell drugs? I don't get it.
On the street.
I'm like, I don't understand. I don't understand any of this. It's so confusing.
That's why he's the most unlikable main character I think ever. Like really
more than Game of Thrones.
I mean, there's a lot of characters, a lot of villains.
I mean, that kid more than that kid in Game of Thrones.
No, that kid's evil, but he wasn't trying to be a good person though.
That is fair. That is very fair. I've never, ever, ever, and this is going to sound super crazy, so I'm going to make sure I neaten this up as well as I can. I've never wanted a television character dead more than that child. Ever.
He was an evil bastard.
I'm going through Game of Thrones, and I'm just like, oh, someone has to kill this kid. Don't even wait till he gets older so it's more appropriate. Kill this little child now. Someone just grab a spear and just ram it through this kid. So I get how you feel about Tariq, because that's how I felt about that Game of Thrones kid. And look, all I had to do is wait a little while, and I got vindication. So maybe you just got to wait a little bit. Maybe Tariq gets in a coma. Maybe just something that works in your favor.
He's the main character. At least this dude was not the main character. He was part of a whole. So he was the main villain for like a couple years, and then they killed him good. Fuck that guy. But now you got Tariq is set up to be the hero of the story, even though he's not a hero. You know what I mean? It's like at least Ghost, who was also not a hero, was likable. You know what I mean?
That's fair. But again, we do have to remember there's probably a lot about Ghost that was unlikable in his rise to becoming Ghost.
I guess. I mean, you can make argument, him cheating on his wife.
Oh, no, I didn't mind any of that. The second I saw Angela, I was just like, oh, I get it. I get it. I understand.
Well, I'm just saying, in general, like it's usually not looked fondly upon, right?
Not at all.
So, that's one characteristic that you can look at. Look, he could have handled that way better. But he didn't. And eventually when he does, it's already too late, because his kids didn't like him forward and shit like that, So yeah, I understand that. It doesn't mean you should kill your fucking father. Like, I hate that.
Arguments here. I'm not siding with that little piece of crap. No arguments here. No arguments here.
Like, don't you hit my mother. Your fucking mother's a psycho as well.
It's so funny because she utilized that to weaponize Tariq in that final season. So where she's just, here's my wrist. And he's like, oh, your wrist.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like, yeah, go kill your dad for me. It's like, oh.
That's exactly, she set him up to kill her father. I mean,
100%.
100%.
Which is why I respected her when it started to all crumble. She's just like, I'm going to go to jail for you. And I'm like, you should.
Yeah,
Like,
that's her
you
fault.
weaponized them. You 100% should go down
He
for
was
this.
so pissed when she was teaching him how to sell drugs. I'm like, that's the opposite of what I wanted him to do. I wanted him to go
Like,
to
I'm
school.
sorry.
He
Yeah,
was trying to help him. He didn't want to be held.
not at all. And look, we can't forget Tariq is the reason his sister's dead.
Yes, that's another thing. And now they didn't want to say it out loud, but eventually they did. Several people have said that out loud to his face. Yes, that's his fault. 100%.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
100%.
But it was a solid episode. I'm glad that they got the dad out early. I really was starting
That's
to think
fun.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a little bit of a wait. So it's going to be interesting because I do believe that his dad, now that he's their dad, sorry, now that he's back, is going to want to clear all ties to this St. Patrick kid. We know he had like a little wink deal with Tariq's mother, but now that she's gone, that doesn't really exist anymore. I see Monet protecting Tariq from essentially just being wiped out. I could see Monet pulling strings to make sure he's protected while he's in there. I did think it was really weird that Kane was just like, "Oh, it wasn't Tariq. It was you, Mom." Okay. I mean, it still set him up, but yeah. Okay, that's interesting. I'm like, I'm so confused. Like, and then he's all nice about it. He's like, yeah, make sure he gets his phone back. And I'm like, I'm sorry, did you just forget that you set him up to go down for those murders? Like, he was just like, you know what? It wasn't him. I'm not mad anymore at him. I'm mad at you, Mom. And he just leaves. I'm like, so you're just gonna still let him suffer for this? Like, you're not gonna take it back? He's just like, no.
That's another little motherfucker. Kane's a pain in the ass too. He needs to pay eventually too, that old bastard. I will not feel bad when he's gone, and he will die. I'm pretty sure he will.
So what we learned is Trayvon can't write anything Marvel, and Joel can't write anything Power. Because Joel will go, all right, so what do we got coming up? We got Tommy, cool, only show. Let's get rid of this Tariq show. We're done. In jail, he dies there.
I like Raising King. I'll take Raising King. I never wanted a Tariq show, damn it. All right.
And you know what? The only reason I'm starting to warm up to it is the next show we're about to get into is Dexter. Because I'm seeing how that works, and I'm just like, it's not bad to pass on the legacy if the story is good. And damn you, Joel, this ghost show is a pretty good story. It's a pretty good story. Like, it hasn't at any point lost me to where I'm just like, bro, this is just like exhausting. And it does help for me that I don't dislike Tariq as much as you do. But
I don't know how they trick you with certain narratives.
I think the narrative is so good that I'm like, I like him.
I have not forgotten what he did. I will never forgive him. He will pay, and he's currently paying. They're gonna let him out, and I'm gonna be pissed.
They are. I even look. If I was part of this writing team, I would even personally have a moment where when he gets out, he just looks at the camera and winks, and Joel knows that that's for him, and that's when got out, bitch. Joel's just like, oh, I'm gonna make sure you get back in there. Don't you worry.
Next season, don't you worry. Wait till next season. I'm gonna have you shot,
Yo, I'm telling you, if I'm watching Ghost next year and Joel is the main villain, I'm gonna go, I don't know how he talked his way into this show, but he has to be trying to fight this kid every day on set. It's just like, what are you doing? It's just like, I really don't like you. I'm sorry. I'm a method actor. Don't worry. It's cool. It's cool.
A lot of beef between me and Tariq.
Guys, this episode is brought to you by Blue Chew. With cuffing season right around the corner, you're going to want to satisfy your lady. And now you can with Blue Chew, which is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is very simple. You sign up at bluechew.com. Consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. The best part? It's all done online. So no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA and are prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package. With Blue Chew, men everywhere are excited to see the postman because when your package has arrived, your package has arrived. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code GVN at checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping. $5 for shipping. That's it. That's bluechew.com, promo code GVN to receive your first month free. Visit bluechew.com for more details on important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring our podcast. But speaking of which, let's move into Dexter. This was an insane episode. So much of this episode, I was just like, I didn't see any of this coming. And look, we said it last week, Joel, and by golly, we didn't know we would get it as quickly as we did. First thing we said was, maybe you just let that podcaster die. You just let her die. Then you could frame him. He goes to jail for real. And then boom, your problems are solved, right?
Bada boom.
He lets her live. She then gives the cop the idea of like, maybe there's some more to him. Cause you know, it ain't like he's a liar. And she's like, but he is.
But he is.
I'm going to look into this now. And then we see the previews for the next episode. And it's just like, oh no, Dexter. We need hungry killer Dexter back because you're going to have to clean all this.
Oh, shit.
You're going to have to figure out a way to clean everything. And luckily for him, it's such a small town. It's such a small town.
It's still,
right. And he still has a fall guy in, can't remember the guy's name, but the guy that got arrested and ended up getting out.
Greg? I forget. Oh, I forget his name.
I'm so familiar.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
I can't either. But the biggest thing that stood out to me this episode, and I'm gonna pass it to you, is when he's just like, I gotta tell Harrison. And it's like, you didn't think when you figured out Harrison stabbed that poor kid that you should have maybe said, hey, a lot of what's going on inside of you is me. It's me.
I've been there.
Yeah, I've killed over 100 people, and it's just like, I get where you're coming from. Let me show you a better way to do this.
Focus it on the right people.
Right? Yeah, you're not going after the people I would have went after, but let's kill this guy that you're looking up to. Yeah. Let's start with him. Let's just carve that.
That's the problem now. You got a guy that he looks up to, and like that. See, that guy's bad.
But no. I will say this: shows do a really bad job of depicting the law. Right? It makes it almost comical, to where he walks in and he's like, "All right, I'm ready to talk." And she's like, "All right," and he's like, "It was my dad." And then they were just like, well, it's possible. All right, have a good day.
No problem.
I'm sorry, what? Is that how forensics works? So where you could just say, hey, me and my dad share DNA. It's probably him. It's like, I'm what? Like, what part of this am I supposed to be believing? Like, right. Like, what motive would your dad have? And I love how he set the whole thing up. My dad used to wail on my mom, and he's a violent man.
All real,
Right. But we see in the flashback that it wasn't his dad; it was him. So he's spinning the narrative, and we're watching him kill Iris.
It's like, funny as that happened because I'm like, he looks too young to be his dad.
That's what I said. I'm like, no way, that's your dad. You look old as hell right now, and this was only what, a few years, like a handful of years ago, like 10 maybe.
Right.
No, actually, a little bit longer than that, because Iris was that girl's mom, and that girl's like what, 18, 19, like last year of high school. So maybe about 10 to 13 years ago. I'm like, no way your dad should look that young and you look that old, and it's only a 13-year difference.
Right. So it's obviously not his dad. It was
clearly.
But I do believe his father was abusive. Like that was probably him in the truck, like looking back and listening to the record that his dad beat the shit out of those. That's true. That part's true.
The wherewithal to just turn the music up. It just,
Hey,
you know what? I can't do nothing to help you, man. I'm sorry.
I was just trying to save you.
He has a weird way of saving. It's so
real.
weird. Where it's just like, hey, I want to help you.
I just want to save you.
Yeah, because he goes, I'm going to take you home. And she just flips out. I can't go back home. I'm going to run away. And it's like, oh, okay. So I'm like, let her run away. Why did you shoot her? I don't understand.
Yeah, really. Relax there, buddy.
Yeah. But what were your thoughts on this episode, Joel?
Another solid episode, Juwaan. I really liked it. Like normal, the show's really good. Harrison is kind of annoying at the moment, but like most children, he just doesn't know the whole story. And then Dexter being annoying in the fact just tell him at this point. Just you gotta trust him with the truth because the truth will set him free. He's not alone. You know exactly what he's going through, so you can mentor him. Teach him, show him the ropes. It's gonna be weird telling him the whole truth. That is gonna be awkward. But it's important that he knows everything. Why you left him. That's another thing that's huge. He just thinks you're a coward and shit. And, there's more to it than that. Not that simple. He's like, well, son, I'm a serial killer. A good one.
But I was getting really, really, really close to getting caught. So I said, deuces, son. I got to get the hell up out of here.
I couldn't take you with me. It's just not healthy. It's not a healthy lifestyle. I'm a curse, like he said. I can't have it. You're better off not knowing who I am, really. Right. I think that's how he took it. But sadly, it did not work out for Harrison. And Harrison does have similar issues that Dexter does, and now he did find his dad, but now you gotta embrace the son that you thought you lost. So cool. There's your chance to set things right. So hopefully that's where it goes. But as of right now, I mean, like he has it all. I mean, he can get away with this, but it just seems things keep spiraling. So he's got to get to it quicker. So shit don't fall on his ass. But obviously, it doesn't never works out that simply for him. So
ever. If anything, it's the worst road followed with Dexter always. And I know Dexter felt the highest form of regret when he tried to stick that kid with the needle, and then it's just like, shit, here's the cops. So like, I'm gonna just punch him in the face, and it's like, would you think this guy would never tell the cops you just stabbed him in the neck with the needle? Like, I
don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and he's just like, what? I don't know what that fresh needle hole.
I felt like a needle in and then I got punched in the face. I'm like, what was that? Mosquito?
It was the weirdest thing. He asked to buy drugs. I go to give him drugs. Mind you, scratch that from the record. And then all of a sudden, he just starts wailing on me. I don't understand. It's weird. I thought this guy really wanted some of my drugs. Scratch that off the record. I don't understand what the beef was.
Speaking of record, I finally caught up on Defending Jacob.
I don't even know what to say because I swear I thought didn't that come out January of last year?
I believe it did, and I got through it.
Crazy show, right?
It is a fantastic show, but yes, it was.
Oh my
goodness. Crazy.
Look, the way they approached it was there won't be a season 2. You need a season 2. You need. There
won't be though. It says series finale in the finale. It says series finale.
You can always rectify that. I need one because, first of all, can I just say that is probably my biggest fear of ever being a parent, where I'm just like, oh my God, okay, hold on.
Yeah, they definitely left it open, and you're sitting there like, did he do it? Because I'm like, I kind of feel like he did, and then like, but there's never a definitive closure there,
I know, and to me, the first thing I kept saying to myself, spoiler alert, but again, Defending Jacob has been out for it's going on 2 years now.
Yeah. Been a while.
But I could never imagine being disappointed in your child so much that you go, this wall, we're going right into it. You're just like,
I'm killing myself, I'm killing you, all of it.
Right, everybody's going, and it's like, well, there has to be a better way.
She was crumbling like for a while now.
She was. I'm telling you, and I think it was when she went to the store and the kid's mom spit on her.
Oh yeah, I would have punched that bitch. I said it was to happen. I'm like, bro, that lady has patience. I would have punched that. Like, I know what happened. No reason to do that. First of all, we're still in trial. You don't know what's what. Would
Right.
you be spitting in my face, bro?
Yeah, that's one thing. You can call me
Highest
any
form of
name.
disrespect is
Yeah,
spitting in
you can
my
call
face.
me any
I will
name, but
punch you
you can't spit on me.
right in the face.
And it's why I still think to this day that should be a law. That whatever happens, happens if you spit on a person.
Oh
Whatever
yeah.
happens,
If
happens.
you spit in my, I will not. I will not.
Like, you can't
back.
possibly tell me that I'm supposed to just walk away at that point. I have your spit on my face.
Yeah.
I'm seeing red. You're dead. Like, I'm gonna wake up and go, I don't know what happened. It's like she spit on you. It's like, oh, I killed her, right? Yeah, no, I thought so.
Well deserved then.
Yeah. Here lies the woman who decided it was smart to spit
it was
on.
a good idea to spit in my face.
Right. Yeah.
Might as well have just punched me. I would have took that a little easier, actually.
100%. I would have taken that and said, you know what? I'd probably do the same thing if it was my kid.
Right.
Spitting on me, under no circumstances do I think I would ever get to a point where I'm just like,
that's
stuff in my mouth I need on your face. Let me just go ahead and fix that for
you. Yeah, loogie in my face, I will punch you
right
in the face.
I can't even say what I would do. I assume I just black out. I have to assume that. I just have to.
I'm pretty sure it'll start with a punch because it's probably the closest thing for me. But you never know.
I've seen Joel frustrated, but I've never seen him angry enough to want to physically fight. So that would be interesting to just see that and just go, oh, he's gonna kill you. Like, I've never seen him that mad. You might die today. You should probably go. But all right. So yeah, so Dexter's crazy. I can't wait to see how that pans out. I do want to talk a little bit more about defending Jake now that you are done. I get why Chris Evans was like, hey, I want to step away and do other things. When you step away and your first two big projects are that and then that murder mystery movie, I get it. I completely get it. Because I tell you what, I didn't get it when Robert Downey Jr. said that and then was doing like Dr. Dolittle and that lawyer movie with Robert Duvall, and it was just like, oof.
Judge.
It's either Iron Man or Sherlock, Robert. Like, you're not really expanding your palette. It's those two. You gotta stick with one of them.
Figure it out.
He had the biggest glow up coming out of being an Avenger.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they weren't big things, but they were good.
No,
things.
not at all. But I tell you what, the fact that he was not nominated and awarded Best Actor in a mini series or lead actor, whatever you wanted to give him, he was amazing.
He was good.
He was phenomenal. Because I love how he was just like, no, not my son. Nope. Look at somebody else, not my son. And then you find out about his dad, and you're like, shit, did you do it, kid? And it's like, I don't know. You seem weird. Maybe you did kill him. And it's like,
what gave it? What made me feel like it was him? And I was with him. Like, I was like, yeah. He, first of all, kid's kind of a dick. You know what I mean?
He is. You don't know that early though. He just seems weird.
Yeah, he's just like antisocial.
Right.
Yeah, he didn't seem off that off there. He was bullied. I totally understand. Always the best reason to kill somebody. But
narrative wise, you killed him, right? Good.
Right. Obviously, blame it on the sexual predator. Always a good target as well.
Always. There had to be a community of them. It's just like, hey, have you been framed for murder? Yep, all the time, bro. All the time.
I don't get it.
I don't understand why they come looking for me. Kid goes missing. I'm the predator. Why do you come to me? And it's just like, replay what you just said. It'll make sense. Just replay.
It's like, shit. I deleted those pictures right away. Get
these out of my phone.
How'd you even get that close, you fucking freak?
But also, I think people forget all the time the cloud exists. So, like, that could easily just be like, oh, right?
Right in it.
We found these pictures you thought you deleted. I got them. But yeah, I did not see that show going where it was going. And then, Joel, I broke down emotionally when they went out of America. And they're just like, we got to get away. Let's go on vacation. They go on vacation. Someone else goes missing. And then I love how the mom's just like, he did it. Let's just turn him in. Let's just be done with it. And the dad's just like, hey, whoa, hold on. You don't know that.
Right. We don't know
and then
that.
she turns up, and then the mom's just like, Still think you had something to do.
She's like, to the point where she's like, I'm gonna fucking kill him.
She's like, if I don't, she literally turned into like an Avenger. She's like, if I don't stop him, the world as we know it can cease to exist.
Right. This is mini Hitler right here. I mean, she was so distraught over that story. I mean, don't get me wrong. That's some kinky shit he was into. I do not understand that at all. But you know, the cut site or whatever the fuck it was called. But
yeah,
that's really what gave it away for me. I was like, ooh, that's very that does not look good.
Not at all. But I didn't ever think like murder could come from that. I just thought like,
but it's the timing of it. It's like him writing it not long after it just looks completely bad. And obviously there's no proof that there's a connection, but that does not look good at all.
Not at all.
Not good at all. Yeah.
Not at all. But yeah, his dad was just like, yo, this is my son. I'm riding with him till the wheels fall off. And his mom was just like, I carried him. So if I'm willing to cut ties, you're clearly not seeing something. like I'm done. Get him out of here. But God, we're coming up. It's just like, whoa. Hold on. He got more life to live. Like he has a life to live.
She had a come to Jesus moment afterwards. I was like, he's gonna think I'm gonna try to. Yes, you did try to kill him. You lucky.
Joel. Yeah. I couldn't breathe when he goes in there and she's just like, what if he thinks I tried to kill him? And it's just like, I'm so sorry. What do you think just happened? How do you think you two got here?
Is that not what happened?
Yeah.
That's how I took it.
I took it purely as you were just like, yo, I don't want to live anymore with this guilt. He's got to die, so he can't kill any more people. And I love how Jacob, the entire car ride, is just like, Mom.
She's just like, fucking killed him, whatever you want.
She's just like, that show is freaking amazing. That's just such great writing because it was a roller coaster. Because I tell you, at 9 different points, I'm like, it was Jacob. It was Jacob. 100% was Jacob. As soon as that girl went missing, I'm like, Jacob did it. Now
she's back. Oh,
and then as soon as she came out, I'm just like, oh. Like I was like the mom. I was just like, oh, all right. I still think you did something, but I want this. So all right, I gave you that. Right, I got my eyes on you. But I will say this. I'm with you. If they leave it like this, I'm fine. In a year or two, I'll probably forget about it. Honestly. But ultimately, it was one of those stories where it's like, if they decide to indeed bring it back, I hope the same crew, the same writing crew is part of it because that writing was crisp.
Yeah, I would love another show from that crew would be cool.
That's fair. Yeah. Another murder mystery. Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever crew that is. Because it was one season. I'm like, come on, gotta give me more than that.
That's what I'm saying. But usually I will say murder mysteries like that, when you get a second season, it's just usually never as good as the first one.
Right. So just give me the same guys, different story. That's all.
Right. I'm with you on that. All right, let's move on. Let's go into Young Justice. We actually watched this together, coming back from Spider-Man. It was a good episode. It was a solid episode. I'm still waiting for the moment they go get help from John Constantine. Excuse me. That's really all I'm waiting for at this point. Just go get John. Just go get John. I don't understand. Just go get him. You know he's gonna save the day. He's gonna make you feel like shit for it, but he's gonna save the day. Just go get him at this point. Just go. But what were your thoughts on this newest episode of Young Justice, Joel?
Solid episode. I mean, it was good. I just at this point, I just see where it's going. I love all the little history lessons they give me. So it's always impressive. Like the world building is impeccable in that show. So I always appreciate learning something new. That's my favorite parts are like, okay, that's interesting. I like that. Okay, well, we got to definitely use that in the future somewhere. I like all that.
No, Young Justice, I tell you, it sets up so many things that I'm just like, Warner Brothers, are you paying attention? Are you paying attention to some of the shit we want to see in live action? Like,
I mean, Young Justice did it all.
It's so compelling.
Just take some of those beats and you'll be all right.
Shit, give me a kids team. Like, build your way to that. Build your way to a continuity where you can bring in the youth. The youth.
They can't even bring in the adults. You want them to bring in the youth. You got it one thing at a time. Like,
that is very true. That is indeed very true.
Okay.
What else we got? Oh, let's talk Hawkeye. Let's talk Hawkeye. Huge episode. Me and you agreed. That scene between Yelena and Kate didn't need to be as long as it was. At some point, it was kind of just like, all right, okay, all right, let's just leave now. But it was a great episode, and I love how calm Clint was. So Kate was freaking out, and she's just like, "Who is that with my mom?" And Clint's he's very calm and just like, "Oh, that's the guy I was telling you about. That's Kingpin.
That's the guy. That was the guy I was worried about. Fuck.
Right. It's like, Clint, but why do you sound so calm? Like, this isn't good news you're giving me. This seems like bad news.
Clint is very even keel. He's not going to lose. You know, look, I already knew this was coming eventually. It just now we're in it now. We're in the thick of it.
And I love how Clint didn't even seem surprised that her mom was mixed up in this. He very much was just like, yeah, that's your mom with Kingpin. And Kate's just like, I'm sorry. What?
He had to.
It seem normal to you? Did
After
you know
that conversation by the elevator? I'm like, yeah, this bitch is crazy.
Yeah, he looked at him.
Something smells wrong. He's like,
yeah, bitch, you work with Kingpin. I smell it. I do. I know you do. I know you
do. I know his cologne. I smell it.
Right? And you know what's funny, Joe? I said this to Joe. I don't think you were on Wednesday. You might have been, but I said this to Joe, and I'm like, bro, I swear to God, they're building up Eleanor to be his Vanessa. I swear, that's exactly what they're doing. Because you don't bring in someone of her caliber to do a role that we've been looking at is so small as of now. Because again, we don't know much of Eleanor. So you look at that role and you kind of go, well, you could have gotten anybody, but to get Vera Farmiga means that you're building. And again, they could just be building Eleanor for Kate's future going forward. I won't knock that. It very easily could be that.
Pretty sure.
But the fact that you're connecting the dots of Kingpin and Eleanor, I kind of feel like there's something there, and it could just be a working relationship, 100%. But like you said, there's a lot of that Netflix world they won't utilize. So I'm like, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility that Kingpin decides to actually date someone that's in the business, so he doesn't have to worry about the sheltering and go hide out in Italy or whatever the hell. It's more so, the risk. And I have no problem, A, killing you, B, setting you up. Like, whatever needs to be done to protect my interests, just know I'll do it. But what were your thoughts on this episode?
Gotta be another solid episode. I mean, the whole Yelena Kate conversation was awesome. Even though if it was a little longer than we probably needed, but still great to see like her drilling her for like her way of getting information from Kate and two characters that we wanted to see interact anyway. So it was fun seeing their first true interaction verbally. You know what I mean? That was cool. It's crazy that it's already been a week or almost a week since that episode.
That's what I was about to say. And what's even crazier is because I said this to myself. I'm like, all right, it's Christmas week already. It's gonna be busy enough. I'm like, all right, Hawkeye. And then I'm like, wait a minute. Fuck. Matrix is the same day as Hawkeye. And I'm like, you can't even catch your breath because when you do, boom, next Wednesday, Book of Boba. And you're just like, oh, like it's good. I'm not saying it like it's a bad thing, but it's one of those where it's just like, all right, we're about to ramp up on a lot of our content. Like a lot of our content is just going to be like full fucking throttle heading into this. Like Batwoman's Resurgence will be the top of January. Superman and Lois will be the top of January. So like a lot of our stuff is just going to start vamping up. So I'm like, okay, all right. It's heating up. So I'm like, damn, Matrix is just like right there. As soon as I'm done watching Hawkeye, I know the first thing I'm going to say is like, I haven't in me to sit through this fucking Matrix movie. Maybe. I've done it before. Maybe. Okay. Maybe. But yeah, bro, we're 2 days removed from the finale of Hawkeye. It literally just was like, hey, We snuck
Came
out.
and went.
Bitch.
Man, came and went. I was like, damn, that was fast.
That's what I'm saying. Me and you have always felt this, Joel, but Moon Knight has to be no later than March. It just has to be. No way they go that long. Just no way. Because usually if they go that long, because when you look at the way they did this year, any breaks they had, they filled with a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because you go from Loki to What If. There was Black Widow. Right? Then after What If, there was Shang-Chi. Then after Shang-Chi, we got Eternals. Then boom, right into Hawkeye. So I'm like, we know next year it's legit no movies till May. So it's like there's just no way Marvel has nothing between January and May. I find that very hard to believe. And then you jam everything from May all the way till the end of the year. I don't believe that. Because you got What If is indeed next year. Like that's been confirmed. They're probably filming it now. We know Miss Marvel will be summer. So then I'm like, well, then where do you shoe in She-Hulk before the end of the year?
If I had to guess based on all the information coming out, it'll be Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Ms. Marvel, and I Am Groot next year.
Oh, then that makes things so much easier. Then that means Moon Knight has to be between January and March. And then you have a small break, Doctor Strange in May. Then you have She-Hulk. And then you have Miss Marvel July or August. And then I Am Groot seems like a Christmas kind of thing. Or am I wrong?
Well, yeah, or fall. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, I could see What If again being that late summer into fall kind of thing. Or
if
like
it's ready, yeah. I mean, if it's ready, yeah, it could be same spot it was this year.
Right. So, and they've tried their best to stay away from Star Wars. So we know Bad Batch is next year. We know Obi-Wan is next year, and we know The Mandalorian is next year. So seeing them navigate through the four of those. What are you saying?
So that'll probably be Christmas or December-ish.
Oh, Mandalorian for sure, 100%. They like that release for The Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes the most sense because he was still doing The Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
So we haven't heard that The Mandalorian has wrapped filming. So he's still working on that. But we do know a lot of what he does for The Mandalorian is voice work. He doesn't always, like, he is in that suit sometimes. But that's why when everyone was just like, you're filming The Last of Us, how are you going to do The Mandalorian? And it's like, I don't think people understand. He's not always in that suit.
Mm-hmm.
It's voice work. So he can do the voice work remote from wherever he is doing The Last of Us. Whenever he gets a break, boom. I sent over my lines. Here you go. Add it how you want. So yeah, I think we are in agreement that Moon Knight has to be between January and March. It just has to. Has to. I don't see how it wouldn't be. All right, let's move on. We did get the season finale of the Flash crossover. Or did we already talk about it? We did already talk about it.
Did we? I don't think we did.
Maybe we did in person. I always get confused whenever we hang out in between doing the show because I'm like, I know we talked about because we talked about the Atom suit, and you were very excited about that and the boots, but then I can't correlate. Was it on the show or was it when
the boots were in the final episode?
Right.
So I remember being excited about the boots, but I also don't remember either. So.
All right, so let's just do it anyway. It was a solid finale. To me, you confused me more than I think you needed to about what the fuck this next season's gonna be. Like, I guess they're saying his kids fucked up the timeline, but I'm like, as you watch this crossover, his kids were nowhere in it. So I'm like, I kind of feels shoehorned. Like you just decided, like, hey, all right, we're just gonna, their kids fucked up, and it's like, well,
yeah, it came out of nowhere. I was like.
Yeah, because when it ended and it shows them in the photo, you're just like,
yeah.
I don't think.
Oh, did I miss something? I rewinded it. I'm like, did I miss something? What? All right, whatever. All right, maybe that's just a setup. All right, cool.
Because I'm like, what am I supposed to take from this? Like, I'm gonna see them next seat. Like, it was very confusing. They did not do a good job explaining any of that. But that's what the season's for, I guess. But do you kind of feel like it's gonna be a reverse Flash kind of season?
I hope not. I don't need that much for a Flash. I just give me something new, hopefully, with the kids and whatever the hell that ends up being. I don't need Reverse Flash again. He has no powers. What the fuck else? I mean, he's gone for now.
Right. Fair enough. My issue with the Flash will always be you've spent the first half of your seasons just running through his really good villains. So I'm like, what the fuck is even left for you to utilize as a season? So I can't wait to see what that is because that left me pretty fucking confused, if I'm being honest. But all right. Let's move on. Let's talk Spider-Man: No Way Home. We saw it this past Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
It is doing crazy numbers in the theaters. Especially for a pandemic. Especially for a pandemic, it's breaking all kind of records. I was telling Joe, if there wasn't a pandemic, this would probably reach Endgame levels. Endgame, Star Wars, Force Awakens, Titanic kind of levels. That's how huge of an event this movie was. But yeah, Joel, we both enjoyed it. We loved it. I know a lot of people are complaining about fan service and whatnot.
I guess.
Me and you will never understand that because if anything, I want my superhero movies to be fan service. Like the first thing I said, Joel, was remember when we watched the Batman trailer? When we first saw the Batman trailer, and he goes, and I could be forgetting it, so please excuse me. But he goes, what did he say? I'm vengeance. I'm vengeance. After he's beating the shit out of that guy. What was the first thing we talked about, Joel? Bro, if each of these trailers end with I am vengeance, I am the night, I am Batman, I'm gonna fucking lose my shit. Yeah. Is it a line that we need? Of course not. Would it be put in purely for fan service? 1,000%. Would it take away from that being the coolest fucking thing ever? Not an ounce. Not an ounce. Not an ounce.
That whole movie was a fan service film. I mean, it's hard to avoid it. but
I just don't understand how it's a problem.
I don't look at it as a critique. So when they're saying, "Oh, it's fan service," I'm like, and
but clearly they were aiming for that. So it's not like they did it and then we're perceiving it as fan service and they're like, "Oh no, I just did it organic." Clearly they did it for us. You know what I'm saying? And I keep trying to tell people, if like Matt Murdock showing up was fan service.
Well,
it was purely fan service.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that whole legal issue was such a non-issue when we thought it would be a little bit bigger than it was. Yeah. So it showcased you in that moment. That whole thing being resolved didn't even need to be on screen.
Right. There was more to it. Apparently they had to cut scenes out of that. There was going to be more to the whole law thing, but they got through.
And look, when I look back, I'm like, yeah, I mean, I didn't really need more of that. If you're saying it was as simple as you fucking have no proof, I'll take it, and I'll take it with a smile on my face. Like, because I did think that. I'm like, all he said was, Spider-Man killed me. And everyone was, and Spider-Man's Peter Parker, and everyone was just like, yeah, I believe that with absolutely no evidence. Yeah. And I'm just like, I don't think that's how the justice system works. I think you need proof.
Yeah. Well, they were trying to frame the video and all this extra shit, but that was obviously tampered with. But
exactly. So I'm like, yeah, this shouldn't go the way that he's thinking it's gonna go. So yeah, so seeing Matt Murdock 100% was fan service. But the biggest
again, everything was fan service.
Right, but the biggest defense I was making for this was people not understanding the reason why they use Aunt May the way that they did. And that's frustrating because as I was explaining yesterday, clearly what they're trying to tell you is Uncle Ben existed, but Peter was so fucking young when he passed away that connection that everyone just assumes, oh, because I kept hearing it yesterday, well, I just assumed Uncle Ben said it to him. Why? Why? Why did you assume that? Don't assume that. They would have alluded to that at any point in Spider-Man's tenure if that were the case. The fucking writers even said they had no interest in doing anything, Uncle Ben. But that's why I bring that up, Joel, because it frustrates me. And I said this yesterday. These so-called fans don't ever know what they want. Because the fans will tell you, I'm tired of seeing Uncle Ben dying. I'm tired of seeing Uncle Ben. We get it. Then they don't give you Uncle Ben. And then you hear, well, I just assumed they would have done the Uncle Ben. And it's like, but you just said you wanted to be different. You didn't want Uncle Ben. So that's what they did. And now you're complaining?
That's what you get.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, it's just like, and you said this perfectly, Joel, when we were talking James Bond. Everyone kept saying, bro, it's the same formula. Do something new. Casino Royale comes out. He doesn't say shaken, not stirred. He doesn't say all the little things. There's no big time gadgets, and people hate it. But you asked for James Bond to be different. No, I mean not the movie. They didn't like how drastically different it was than the other ones. I'm like, but you asked for that.
This is also what happens when you have a Spider-Man, your third Spider-Man within a 10-year gap. You know what I mean? Like, it's insane. And you have to be different.
And it's the problem you have when you start from the middle rather than the beginning. So you start and you're making him an Avenger. And it's like, well, he hasn't even become fully Spider-Man yet. Like, he's not who he's going to be yet. And you're already putting him and going into space and everything. And I was trying to explain yesterday, I'm like, would I have done that? No. But we're here. We're here. And now, because they kept saying, well, wasn't his defining moment when Stark died? No. Stark was a mentor. There's no comparison between a mentor and then your family dying. He needed that Uncle Ben, Aunt May moment to make him the man he was going to be. Because I said he spent the entire time being this immature kid, giving the glasses away, and then being super uber selfish, at the beginning of this movie. And it was seeing the Spider-Man losing Aunt May that made him into the man that he is. Because that Peter Parker at the beginning of the movie would have 100% walked in that donut shop at the end of the movie and said, hey, bitch, I'm Peter and Spider-Man. Like, love me again. But this Peter Parker that went through some stuff understands it's not about me. It's about them. They deserve to live their life. So I'm like, he needed to go through all of this. And now, guess what? We don't have to worry about any of that Iron Lad and all that other bullshit anymore. He's his own man. He's his own man who does things by himself. And then you get to, well, I don't think Spider-Man should be so alone. Read a comic book. Spider-Man is always alone. The man lives alone. The man is just a lonely motherfucker. He just is. He just is.
Spider-Man is the best when he's alone.
100%.
He's also good in groups. And by groups, I mean not teams. In team-ups is what I mean. Not so much as he's a member of a team. He is really good at teaming up with people because that's all he does for the longest time is like teaming up with other heroes.
Yep.
Because he's friendly. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But the best of Spider-Man is when he's alone. Did I mind him having his little crew there? Not at all. You know? I didn't mind it at all. I mean, look, we've had cartoons with like that. Like Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. It was him and it was Iceman and whatever her fucking name was.
Firestar.
Was it Firestar?
Mm-hmm. It was either Firestar or Firestorm.
No, it was Star. It was. I think it was Firestar. But there's so many different Starfire. Oh, there's Starfire, there's Firestar, there's Sunfire. There's a lot of that shit. So it gets confusing. So there you go. Like he had his little crew in the college. That was during his college days. In the cartoons, I grew up with the Spider-Man animated series. He was alone. He lived alone. I mean, he lived with Aunt May, but he more or less just had Aunt May, but Aunt May didn't know. Actually, Aunt May didn't like Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
That was the biggest thing. That's why I said because it was being said yesterday, like I didn't understand why it was an issue for Peter for them to just know again. And I'm like, bro, first of all, you're altering time. So if you're altering time, that means you have to have a different result. You can't alter time and it's the exact same result. So I'm like, Peter said it when the spell was happening. Like, I went through a lot explaining this to May the first time. I don't want to go through that again. I don't want to have to go through that again of telling her who I am and then her, like, me trusting that she'll be okay enough with it for her to let me continue to be Spider-Man. And I'm like, he could have told Ned this time. Maybe Ned's jealous. Maybe he's envious. Maybe he wants to. So I'm like, not telling them was smart, because at the end of the day, he is a fucking child that you made known to the world who he is. And that's why me and you were texting back and forth. I'm like, bro, you couldn't keep this known as his identity, because I'm like, bro, you know how hard it would be for me to ever believe that villains don't just show up to his house every day?
And that's what happened in the comic.
That's exactly what happened. And I'm like, that's just not, it's just not, you can't sustain that. You can't each movie just have a villain ringing his doorbell and going, hey,
you need at least one of those fucking Marvels to keep their identity. So I'm glad it's Spider-Man.
Yes, and and look, we're gonna get it a lot. We're gonna get it for Mark Spector, we're gonna get it for Matt Murdock, we're gonna get it for that's probably it. Yeah, everybody else will probably just reveal. Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
But it's good, especially the kids. Like when Kamala Khan comes in, I don't need the world knowing that she's Miss Marvel. I don't want that, because it's just, again, she's a child. She goes to school. I know where to find you 5 days a fucking week, 8 a.m. to 2 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. I don't ever want that. I don't ever want that. And that's why I said I remember sitting in the theater with my dad, like, what the when Stark said, I am Iron Man, I'm like, what? Like,
yeah.
what?
Blew my mind.
Why? Like, I'm like, why would you say that?
Oh,
and then my dad just like, it's just Stark. Like, relax. That's a Stark thing to do. And I'm like, okay. And then I progressively watched the entire MCU just go, hey, that's me. And I'm just like, I don't understand. Why can't anyone have a secret? Like, what is? Why are you making this so public with everyone? How many times did we say it watching Hawkeye, Joel? How often people knew about what happened? And it's like, bro, you're like a random person. Why do you know so fucking much?
I always say, I mean, I don't complain about those, because once your identity is public, all bets are off.
That is true. That is indeed true. So, yeah, so that's bothered me since 2000.
That's why probably the only thing about Clint that is known is that he's Hawkeye. That's it.
That's it. And luckily for him,
and he's an Avenger. You know, he's Hawkeye. He's an Avenger. That's all people know about Clint.
That's it.
Probably.
But yeah, I love this movie. This movie was so necessary. It was so necessary, and I decided, because of the peer pressure of Joel, I will no longer be making top 5 lists ever again when it comes to movies.
I never peer
you peer pressure me, like, Juwaan, you know you're gonna change it. It's like, I know, of course. But because I was asked yesterday, like, where would you rate this in the MCU? And I'm like, I can't do that. I can't do that only because I'm telling you right now, I saw that trailer for Multiverse of Madness. If Multiverse of Madness does even a fraction of what we assume this movie's gonna do, I could easily just, whatever I tell you my 5 is, I'm telling you right now, something's coming out of there.
Yeah, that movie has there's so much crap that might happen in that movie. It's beyond crazy right now,
bro. And you know what hot rumor I'm hearing right now, that I'm just like, I just hate people sometimes. People are now spreading the rumor that we could be getting, not in the MCU, just as like a cameo for the multiverse, the first Fantastic Four Reed Richards. And I'm just like, at what fucking point in this movie would I need to Reed Richards? You know, I'm like, at least
apparently there's going to be like a multiverse Illuminati. That's why.
I'll punch you in your. Don't you say those words. You know how important the Illuminati are to me.
I'm just telling you what that's possibly what it is. And he wasn't part of it before, but apparently he's been added in the reshoots and shit. So it's like, okay, so now there's going to be some type of version of the Illuminati, not the one you expect, because it's not in the world. It's like a multiverse. So who knows who's a part of this? You know.
No, that's fine. Because I told you before. Once Chadwick passed, and once Robert Downey Jr. died as Iron Man died rather. Sorry. I said, well, there's just no way A, I'll ever get the Illuminati, or B, it'll ever be the accurate Illuminati that I want. So I'm fine with that. But if they're ballsy enough to give me the Illuminati, oh my God, Joel, I don't think you're ready for how much I'll scream. I'll scream in that fucking theater, bro.
We
I
may
will
get a
scream.
form of. We may get a form of them.
So now it makes more sense. Because, okay, all right. So for our listeners, not you, Joel, our listeners, the Illuminati consisted of Reed Richards, Charles Xavier, Iron Man, Black Panther, Namor, and Doctor Strange. And the whole point of the Illuminati in that moment of the comics was that it was during the period of the Infinity Stones. So the purpose was each member holds a stone. And the whole purpose was anything big happens, we come together and we see if we can't stop it before it becomes big. And they were each tasked with that, and it's kind of like the five families.
What'd you say it was again?
It was Iron
Reed
Man,
Richards.
Reed Richards. I'm sorry,
Man,
Reed Richards, Iron Man, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Charles Xavier, and Namor.
Namor, and I believe Black Bolt.
Black Bolt might be who I'm forgetting. Okay, and Black Bolt. Okay,
Black
so
Bolt.
7 of them. Okay. So yeah, they were like the five families. They were like
when
the five
Xavier
families.
died, it was Beast, I believe.
That does make literally the most sense. I really do hope they do a good job of setting up Beast to where he means more. Because if you ever come to a day where you do have Xavier gone, whether it's an event that he's gone, Beast is the one that takes over. And he's the most trusted person to take over.
On this picture, it's Black Bolt, Doctor Strange, Reed Richards, Namor, Iron Man, and Xavier. On this picture, same one. So 3, 4, 5, 6. Who do we add? Oh, Black Panther. He's not always. I mean, he was in the first meeting,
right?
But he's not in all of them.
Yeah, because they do a good job in the comics to where T'Challa's really only worried about Wakanda. And that's again another change that I don't mean that in a negative sense, but a change that the MCU made. It took T'Challa a long fucking time to ever come to the understanding of I should maybe help more than Wakanda. He only cared about
that
Wakanda.
was the first incarnation. Now the second incarnation has Iron Man. Well, that's obviously Xavier died. So Beast, Black Bolt, Reed Richards, Hulk, Black Panther, Doctor Strange.
Now, what's funny about that is the first Illuminati assembled to send Hulk out of space. Right. So for him to join it, let you know how much growth was was in between that.
Peace was brokered.
100%, because he came back to Earth looking to kill all of them for sending him out.
Yeah, he definitely did.
So that's interesting. That's very interesting. But yeah, so look, Multiverse of Madness is gonna be stupid. It's gonna be stupid crazy, bro, and I'm so ready for it. I just saw this and I remember that you showed it to me, so let me give you your credit because you always say I forget that you tell me stuff, because I do.
I do say that, but it's not that I ask you to credit me. It just annoys me when you forget after I told you something.
I swear to God, I forget all the time. So this is what intrigued me, and we talked about this a little bit, but we didn't have the context of the trailer. So I want to go back to this, which, by the way, I pre-ordered all those Doctor Strange figures, so
it's already up for pre-order?
It's already up for pre-order, and they actually come out into this month, beginning of next month. So I'll have them relatively soon.
During the Hawkeye release?
No.
Or is it just those two for Hawkeye?
No, nothing has been released officially yet. Nothing. So that I find that very interesting. Strange's stuff has been released before Hawkeye. But Defender Strange.
I saw that.
I'm very intrigued if that is indeed the Illuminati Strange. Because I'm starting to think maybe we get more than one Doctor Strange in this movie. Like it's a multiverse of Doctor Strange as we go through.
Well, so how many toys are there? Isn't there like 3 of them or so far that we've seen?
There has been 3. So it's Evil Strange, Regular Strange, and now Defender Strange.
Right. So look at that, 3 Strangers. That's insane.
beyond insane, because we don't even know if that's it. Could there be more?
Sure.
And it's funny because I'm still confused on what Wanda's role is here, because when they brought her on stage, they made it seem very much like she's the big bad. and it seems as though maybe they've dwindled down a little bit from there.
It seems like that when they brought her on stage, it seemed like she was going to play a focal point. Not so much that she was the big bad. She was just she's gonna be a main character, not just a side character.
Well, then when
I didn't take it as she was
big bad. Wasn't it said that?
No.
Wasn't it reported?
No, there's rumors that she was going to be the main villain. Yeah, like we've heard rumors that she'll fight the Illuminati. You know what I mean?
She's gonna fight the Illuminati,
right?
Oh my fuck, bro! I'm not ready for this movie to make me go. That Spider-Man shit was good, but I just saw Charles Xavier fighting Wanda. I don't know what the fuck life is anymore. I don't know. Like I don't know anymore. This is crazy. I just saw Wanda fight Black Bolt, Charles Xavier.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get Black Bolt. I think you have a safer chance of getting characters from other movies. So like a Magneto and shit like that.
Magneto part of the Illuminati. I hope it's Charles. I hope they stick with Charles.
Well, I believe it will be Charles. I'm just saying I'm not counting out the idea of Magneto showing up.
Oh,
there might be an alternate version of Iron Man. Apparently, this just is a.
God, I can't even picture what that would be. Do you think they bring back Robert Downey or
no? It should be Tom Cruise, like they rumored it was.
Bro, I'll lose my mind if that's the case. I know we both can agree it's not gonna happen.
If it's a cameo, I'm cool with it. Yeah.
I would lose. No. I didn't mean it like he would come back to replace it. I mean, I don't even think it would be a cameo. Because too much, it would have to have been so fast when they did it. Because remember, he was filming Mission Impossible back to back while they were filming Multiverse of Madness. Right. So that means he would have had to come in for like a day and nobody knew. But I tell you this, if these scoopers work anything like the scoopers did for No Way Home, we'll find out very soon who all of these big players are.
I mean, a lot of shit has been coming out lately, so it's like if you want to know, there's stuff to know. Like,
right, but what I'll say is for Spider-Man, they started showing like photos, like that one shot we got of Toby and Andrew that we all thought like that shit was fake. That was real. Yeah. That was real. So I'm like, we'll start getting stuff so much so that we'll go, bro, all right, damn, can we just see the movie? Like, geez, come on now. So I want to get into this, Joel. Moving off of that, I want to talk about what is the likelihood we see Andrew Garfield come back in a larger role, Sony-wise, not MCU, Sony-wise.
I don't know, man. Seems like it's very likely, but I don't know. I don't know. I personally don't need to see more of him. Like if they want to. Mm-hmm. I'm cool with it because he's one of he was my favorite before Tom Holland took over that role. But and if they want to have him as a Spider-Man of the Sony universe, while Tom's the Spider-Man of the MCU, I get that. But then I don't need him having his own movies. Whereas some people are like, "I'll make Amazing Spider-Man 3." I'm like, I don't know if I need that. I don't want two Peter Parkers existing at the same time.
We couldn't be on board with that, Joel, because me and you would be hypocrites. We've been kicking DC in the ass
for the same
reason now for doing just that. Yeah. So we can't accept it just because they make more sense or we like the actor that they're utilizing. We have to stay consistent, and what's consistent is it's not a smart thing to do because it creates too much, and it's why I said. I swear, Joel, me and you talked about this ad nauseum. We said the reason why you don't give these fans anything is because they don't know how to accept it. They don't know how to see Andrew and Toby and just go, bro, this was awesome to see them back. I love this. I'm glad we got closure for those two characters.
That's
the first fucking thing they said is, give me more. Give me Spider-Man 4. Give me Spider-Man 3. Bring them back. And it's like, bro, this is why I was texting Kanan. This is why I don't want to see Hugh Jackman as a cameo. I don't. Because they'll never let that door close. They'll never let it close. And it's like you're making it hard for whoever his replacement is. It's already difficult replacing Hugh Jackman. Now you want to add the addition of teasing Hugh Jackman in the MCU enough to where people are just like, well, why not just keep it? That's why I said if Hugh Jackman wants to be a cameo, it should be in a Deadpool movie on. That's it. That's the only place I need it because people can accept it more there as being meta and funny rather than the possibility of, well, you're branching these worlds together, right? No, that's not what they're doing. That's not. So, yeah, I'm with you. I don't need that. But also, I wouldn't mind it because I'm like, the longer we can keep Tom Holland here and they stay busy with their toys in that corner, I think the better off we'll all be. Because at least we can go, all right, well, they're just really doing wild shit over there. But we don't really have to care because the Spider-Man we care about is here. And they're doing a really good job.
It's not a bad way to look at it. Where he's just like, let them, do whatever the fuck they plan on doing over there. Enjoy whatever mediocrity you throw out there. And we'll take care of this shit here.
I mean, it's consistent because remember, we said that for DC. We said if you had earned an Elseworld story, we could accept it. I could eat that bowl every day of the week if you had a DCEU that was cohesive. And then you wanted to say, you know what? We want to branch into some multiverse shit too. We want to have a whole alternative universe over here that we want to do the craziest stories for it. And I can say, you know what? That's fine, because guess what? I could not give a fuck about that because you have a cohesive universe over here doing all the right things. So I could look at those movies and go, okay, they were good or they weren't good. Who cares? This is what matters over here. But the fact that you're saying, I don't even know which side I want to deem as what matters is why we're saying, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So at least here, MCU, cohesive, good stories. They've done right by Spider-Man. Sony, you've done nothing but hit and miss. You can go shit the bed over there. Let us live peacefully over here with this Spider-Man and Tom Holland.
Yeah, honestly. I'm not against it. If that's what they want to do, I'm open to it. But it's, I don't necessarily need him having a separate cohesive Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, and whatever the fuck they call the Spider-Man movies. They're too similar. It's not, especially now that he's fixed. Basically, he's changed basically everything. So now he's back to normal, or he could be the more traditional Spider-Man. So now he's even more like the other two Spider-Men. It's like, when you say alternate universe, I want a completely different type of character, not a similar character. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so similar, even though they're different actors. It's just too similar. I don't see the point in that. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
Sony
like I
wants
told
to
you,
play with Sony's not integrated like we thought. So Sony's gonna be their own little pool. So
I told you before, first thing I said to you was the only way I could accept this, Andrew Garfield getting another Spider-Man movie, is if your idea of taking his Spider-Man is just to shoe in Miles Morales. Because Tom Holland is just becoming Spider-Man, we are miles away, no pun intended, from getting to a point to where that Spider-Man is looking to pass the baton, right? He just became the Spider-Man that we're all just like, all right, this is Spider-Man, right? Now, could you do Miles and Peter at the same time? 100%. The video game showcases that. But if you wanted to, Andrew, because I think that joke meant a little bit more. I think Andrew would be perfect to introduce Miles in that universe. And then if you want to say, look, Andrew, this has been great. You've been awesome. We gave you your redemption movie. Technically 2 redemption movies, No Way Home, and then your third movie. We want to do Miles. So we want to have you be more of like a mentor to Miles as we groom him to be the new Spider-Man of this Sony universe. To me, it makes perfect sense. And then down the line, you do Into the Spider-Verse, where you could integrate Peter of the MCU, Miles of the Sony universe. and then they could interact the same way we see the Spider people interacting in Into the Spider-Verse, where Gwen just fucking pops in. I don't even know how. She just popped in and was just like, "What's up?" Like, bitch, did you not? Like, you just pop up a portal in my home? So I'm like, you could do that and that could work and everyone would be happy. You get the redemption for Andrew. He gets his third movie. He interacts with Venom, Morbius, Craven, and then you slowly integrate Miles. And then bada bing, bada boom, he's a mentor, slowly grooming him in. We got Miles here, Peter here. One day you bring them together. Secret Wars could even fucking bring them together if you want. I know it's a lot. I'm just saying.
No, it's not that it's a lot. I don't want him to eventually take over for Peter in the MCU. So it's like, I don't like it because it's like, because of what I just said, I want him to eventually take over for Peter in the MCU. So to have him have a separate universe and do his own thing in that universe, it's like, you know.
But you could branch the two and still make that work.
I don't. In what way?
In a way of, like I said, Into the Spider-Verse, to where you find a way to where that's how you bring it in. Because we said this before. We said MCU should keep Peter, Sony should do Miles, and then you just find a way to bridge it. You just find a way to bridge it. So I think it's go ahead. I'm sorry.
Found a way to bridge them before. I don't see the point. The point is they don't want their characters touching these characters. I don't see how that changes with Miles.
I mean, again, it depends. It just all depends on the longevity they.
I'm saying if that happens, let's say that's the way they go. They start with Andrew and they spin off and get a live action Miles in that universe. I just say just do the same thing in the MCU. Just bring in a Miles for the MCU.
Oh, well, then if that's the case, then by all means, just don't do it over in Sony. But I'm only saying this because I don't know. Because Tom Holland already seems like he's getting to that point where it's just like, I've done this a fucking lot. So I don't know the longevity Marvel has with Peter Parker, like how long they want to keep going with. Because to me, you just gave me Spider-Man. So right. Now I'm like, well, now I want to see a whole nother fucking arc with Spider-Man.
There should be a whole nother arc.
Right. So I'm like, all right, so when you do the next 3 set of movies, is that it? Because if that's the case, then I don't mind waiting that long for Miles. But if you're Sony, that's asking a lot of Sony. This character has never been more popular.
I think you should introduce him in the next movie, honestly, in my opinion.
Okay.
I wouldn't waste time. I'd introduce him. Maybe he doesn't get his powers that movie, but I think you introduce him in that movie. Okay. At the very least. You know, especially maybe it ends with him getting the bite.
you know it adds up to what you're saying, Joel? I think comicbook.com put out the rumor that one of the Spider-Man movies for the MCU, he's not starring in, he's producing. He wants to be a producer of it. So it would make sense that one of those movies might be a Miles movie.
It could be down the line. I mean, my problem is, I know the article you're talking about, but I think it's just saying that it's a possibility that like he can produce it and not necessarily star in it. Is what he was trying to say.
Right.
Which is which like we were saying, that could possibly, even after he's done, he could still be a producer in Miles is the Spider-Man. I mean,
100%. And again, I think we'll agree on this, Joel. I don't ever need Peter to die for Miles to take center stage.
No, not necessarily.
So many other things you could do. I still want Miles to have that mentor of Peter Parker, someone that he could just like go back to and go, look, shit's getting real rough. And I tell you right now, if the world gets crazy for Miles, nothing will be doper than seeing Tom Holland after 5 years or 10 years back in that suit, swinging around New York with Miles. We just saw that. We just saw how cool that is with returning Spider-Man coming to help ease the new guy in town. You know what I'm saying? So to see Tom side by side with Miles, it'd be nothing cooler. Nothing cooler.
Right.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah. So I can't wait. I mean, look, a lot of things are going to start to slowly make sense because when we get Spider-Woman, to see what they do with that, where that goes, what that blends into, will be very interesting. Very interesting for the future of Sony. Because I'm like, well, do you stop there? Do you do Spider-Gwen? Do you do Silk? do you do Miles? Like, what? How do you go? How do you not have a Spider-Man and then give me
Right.
Spider-Woman? You know what I'm saying?
Well, again, they're two different characters.
No, 100%. But I'm saying for your first Spider person in that universe to be Spider-Woman, I'm very intrigued as to why. If that's first of many, or if that's something that's just one. Like, what are we doing with Jessica Drew? Like, what's happening here? So that's all.
Yeah, I agree. But I heard, I don't know how true it is, but I heard that would be another product that would be like Spider-Man and be co-produced by the MCU. Don't know how true it is.
That's interesting because we know Venom Feige was somewhat had hands on
not like that, like Spider-Man, and the fact that it's in.
Oh, you mean it being an MCU product?
Right.
Oh, okay. Oh shit! Yeah, that's really weird.
Right. We'll see. I don't know how true it is. I mean, that's what we heard. That because apparently, I forgot what it was, but that was one of the rumors that it'll probably be an MCU character. So, okay, I mean, that's definitely taking another level. If you're gonna have not just Spider-Man but Spider-Woman be part of the MCU, like,
that's gonna open up a big ass door, because the first thing you're gonna have people saying is, well, that better be first of fucking many. Like, because Jessica Drew just isn't as popular as Miles or Spider-Gwen. So to go to her first,
I think you could explain her way easier than the other.
100%. No,
she has less to do with Spider-Man than any of the other characters.
Right. Completely get you. But you know what I want them to work their way towards, and there were rumors, small rumors once. I fucking want Silk, bro.
There's a TV show in production. I told you this.
I need it to be Disney Plus. Like, I don't trust Sony doing that.
Apparently, it'll be Amazon. I think it is.
Oh my God! See, this is what I don't want. I'd rather you mess up Jessica Drew. No one cares about her. Don't fuck up Silk. Silk is such a character that you fuck up, huh?
I'm like, no one knows who Silk is.
I know who Silk is.
I'm just saying, Spider-Woman is more popular than Silk.
No argument here, but that's my point. You could mess up Jessica Drew and then just come back to it. You fuck up Silk, no one has interest in Silk again. Give that to Kevin Feige. God, I want Silk to do well. I just trust Amazon. That's what I'll say. I'll trust Amazon. I trust them. They've not filled it yet. Damn.
The last time I heard about it, it was that. It's a show. Because they're gonna do other shows, but that's the first one.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to that shit. All right, let's talk some good news, Joel. You are very excited about this, so I want you to take center stage. Blue Beetle is no longer an HBO Max. It is going straight to theaters. And we have a release date of August 13th, 2022. No, 2023.
It's August 18th.
18th, sorry. August 18th, 2023. How excited are you, Joel?
Very excited. Yeah, we were in the car when they got the news. They took it off as an HBO Max exclusive, and now it's a theatrical movie, and that's where it should be. God damn it, Yep. There's not a lot of Hispanic superheroes, so to have the one of the more prominent ones be stuck on HBO Max only, I mean, you're not doing it the service that it deserves. So it definitely deserves to be theatrical and wide released, and we should be able to come together and watch this movie and love it with all our hearts. So people don't know Blue Beetle yet, they will, and I'm excited for that.
100%, and it'll be interesting to see if this snowballs, because I find it hard to believe that you do this with Blue Beetle and then Batgirl's just sitting there just like, so fuck me, right? Like I don't get
specifically
you. So it'll be interesting, because to me, I don't understand how you define one but not the other. So it'll be
there's gonna be some that are exclusive and some that are not, unless they change their minds. That was the plan, but
and that's fine, because me and you agree there are some small characters that just don't need the big screen. But the fact that this Batgirl is going to be connected to a Batman we know, I do believe she should be bigger than just an HBO. Like, she's not just a small little, like I look at Luke Cage and I go, I don't ever need a movie of Luke Cage. That is 100% a show, and it's done great as a show, right? I look at Batgirl and I go, this is one of your more popular female characters. You 100% should put her in a movie theater. Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting, and if they don't, I would love to hear what the justification is for one over the other. I would just like to know that. I know you don't know, but I'm saying I would like to hear that if that's the case.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Wait, let's see.
Yeah, because that's gonna be interesting, especially seeing what Batman she's attached to.
That's what I'm waiting for. You know, that's the big reveal. Like, oh, which Batman are we talking about here, buddy? You know.
Because I'm telling you, man, we have what we assume. And we have what we assume is 100% not the case. So then it just goes, well, how weird would it be if Keaton is
the Batman?
That Batman, and it's just like, why?
Yeah,
like I don't understand.
Older than Jim Gordon.
That's what I'm saying, and it doesn't bode well that Ben doesn't want to do this shit anymore. He doubled down on it, so it's like, well, now it just makes it even more confusing. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yeah. I don't want Batgirl a part of Robert Pattinson, and he's just becoming Batman, and you're telling me there's already a Batgirl in town? I don't like that either. And we know that can't be the case because we know who his Jim Gordon.
Right. So yeah, we know that's not connected. But
right.
We know that Pattinson's Batman is by himself.
Right.
Unfortunately, but that's what it is.
Right.
And we, as far as we know, currently it is Ben Affleck that's the main Batman for the time being. But until we see what happens in Flash, that is what it is.
Yeah.
Unless they recast Ben Affleck again, like I just don't see. I don't know, man. I don't know.
To me, I really do feel as though at this point, if Matt Reeves doesn't want to connect it, just keep it Elseworld and recast. Just recast and get it over with.
I don't disagree.
Now, you said
because it'll be the same. I said I don't disagree.
Oh, okay.
Because it's the same situation we have with Spider-Man. Like, but at least the difference is that this Batman is connected to a much larger universe. Right. Whereas Pattinson's is literally isolated by itself. And on the other side, you have the Spider-Man that's already connected to this giant connected universe. And the Amazing Spider-Man is technically standalone, but now you can connect it to other Sony characters and make it bigger than it was. Right. It's a different situation, you know what I mean? Because we have no idea if the Batman it'll probably be a Batman universe, but I don't know if it'll be anything more than that. You know?
Right. And I don't think it needs to be. I think it's fine if you isolate it, especially if you just chop it up to Elseworld. I'm fine with that. But today, right now is a perfect time to recast Batman because the world will never be more confused than it is right now. So in all this confusion, just throw that shit in there. And by the time you figure everything out, everyone will already go, well, I'll never be more confused.
Well, unless they have an absolute plan that is going to blow my fucking mind in a couple months. I have no idea how we're going to get past all this extra bullshit. I really don't. Because we have no idea what they're going to do with Henry Cavill Superman. Is he ever coming back? Who knows? Is Ben Affleck coming back? Yeah, he's coming back, but will he stay back? Well, who knows?
Who knows? And it's very frustrating because you get to a point where you're just like, bro, under no circumstances do I want a world without Batman. Under no circumstances
you don't want a world without Batman and Superman, period.
Right.
How do you have a DC universe without Batman and Superman? It makes no sense to build this giant connected universe and not have any idea who your Batman is, who your Superman is.
Right. And I don't want another 90-year-old Batman.
No.
So I'm like, just recast younger.
No, you don't. No, we don't.
And I'm like, just recast younger. And I hate people that are like, well, how do you explain it? How do you explain any of the fucking mess that
why is it all of a sudden you got to explain all the recasting? These dudes back in all the day never has explained anything. New guy.
Bro, we legit had Andrew Garfield one day, Tom Holland the next, and nobody was sitting there like, bro, I need answers. They just said, bro, that's not my Spider-Man anymore. Simple. And people were just like, okay, they understood it. So I'm like, I don't understand. I'm with you. I don't understand that. It's very clear. Boom, we moved on. Ben doesn't want to do it. We went younger. Here's our new Batman. Simple. Done. Move on.
Obviously, you want someone around the same age, so maybe you cast what's his name from Mad Men? Do him. He'll come back and do it.
Oh, 100%. I would take John Hamm, but I didn't mean young, like super young. I meant young, like mid-30s. I just don't need.
I'd say 40s, but yeah, I know what you mean.
I just don't need late 40s, early 50s. Like I don't need that again. I don't need having a Batman that I got to then worry about.
Even though our possible current Batman might be 70, so whatever. You live with what you.
They really make it hard to root for them. I tell you that. That's for damn sure. But speaking of Henry Cavill has said that he is a huge Red Dead Redemption fan, and he is trying his best to get a Red Dead Redemption live action happening with him in it. And Henry, you have no one that supports you being James Marsden more than this motherfucker here. But only problem is, it's just not realistic, Henry. You're big as shit. Like it's just not practical. It's why, in my mind, again, only in my mind, when I thought of a Red Dead Redemption live action, you know the first person I thought about, Joel? The guy who needs to be redeemed for a Western. And that's Josh Brolin. Josh Brolin looks like he could look just like James Marsden. Even fucking sound like him.
Which one's James? I forget which one's which.
The son. He was the son. He was the first.
He's the main character of the first game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then maybe it's the second one. Maybe he wants to be the prequel character. What's his name?
Not the.
It's been a while since I played the game. I can't remember
Not even his dad. Again, my only issue. There's nothing else wrong with Henry Cavill. It's just that he's big as shit. That is my only issue.
He's wide. Yeah.
That is my own. In a time where people weren't lifting weights that crazily, you know what I'm saying? Or if at all, there were some slim guys. They were just, it was a Western. I didn't really need strength. I punch you in the face. I shoot.
You could always not, slim down. It's not like it's a big deal.
Okay. If that's the case, then no problem. Because I can tell you right now, from watching The Witcher, he easily could do a James Marsden voice. James Marsden does grunt a fucking shit ton.
I never played the first one, so I'm not as connected to Jay until the end, of course, of the second one, where, But so for me, it was a little different. But whatever version they get, because that second one was so damn fucking good.
It was. That's why I really, Joel, I want more than anything for you to play that first one,
bro. I watched the whole thing.
Oh, okay. So then you do know.
Yeah, but again, I don't have the connection. It's different when you watch it and play it. Like you connect. Okay. To me, when you play with the character, you connect to it easier than watching them go through it.
Okay.
It's playing with the character. They're the point when you're playing, you become that character. You know what I mean?
I get you.
It's different when you're watching it from the outside. You get what I'm saying?
I do. I really do. Because you have a connection with those Spider-Man characters that I never could have.
It's different.
I haven't played it.
Right. Well, plus it's Spider-Man.
What was the news that you just posted today?
Which one?
Like you posted it maybe an hour and a half ago.
The Legion news?
Yes. Please get into that. Let's get into that.
Sorry. So apparently, according to Brian Michael Bendis, the writer, famous comic book writer who's currently at DC, currently writing the Justice League comic books and Legion comics, is developing a Legion of Superheroes TV show for HBO Max, but it'll be an animated. As of right now, it's an animated show, and that could possibly change. But as of right now, he's working on the animated Legion of Superheroes TV show. So that sounds awesome. Sounds great. Because look, I remember telling you I wouldn't mind seeing a Legion Superhero show for CW.
Right.
That would have been cool because it just makes sense there. It just seems like a perfect show for CW. For me, they don't have the budget near the budget that you probably need for an actual like Legion show. But I don't know. There's something about, I feel like it hits all the marks of a CW show. There's a lot of drama. They're teens or whatever, like a little bit older than teens. there's so much drama there. That you just so much in the superpowers and in the future. There's like there's a lot of shit you can go with there. I thought that would have been perfect for CW, but they want to make it an animated show. I mean, there was an animated show back in the day, which was really good too.
I was waiting for you to finish so I can come in and say I love that show.
Yeah.
I really did. I thought it was awesome.
If it's anything like that, obviously it'll be based more on the new comic books, but which is cool because I read those books, so they're pretty decent. They're pretty good. So I look forward to seeing how he adapts or how they adapt it. Because the Legion deserves some love. They're pretty cool.
I'm with you. I got excited when I saw that you had posted it up. I'm like, yeah, I love the last series. And I'm like, look, I'm cool with something different. Like Earth's Mightiest Heroes was more adult. Then you make your way to the newer Avengers series that was just kid driven, right? And you go, okay, you see the difference. So the first Legion was kids driven. So I'm fine getting a more adult version of these characters in that story.
Yeah.
I don't mind seeing the other side of the pillow.
Exactly. There's so much there that they can do, and more adult versions of them, especially. And there's so many new characters he's created that they're gonna see some love and light.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And it's funny, speaking of more adult, I've never been more weirded out than a reporter asking Tom Holland, "Will we ever see Peter Parker and MJ have sex?" And he's just like, "Who the fuck wants to see that?" Like, I don't. He's like, they're kids. What? Why are you even thinking that?
Like, that's not something we need to see.
Yeah, like I don't. That's why, like, when I saw Eternals and that scene was in there, it was just like, oh, okay. Like, it was one of those like, I did not know to look out for this.
Not that I cared, but I'm not one that.
But it's also I don't need a visual of my favorite superheroes having sex. I don't ever need that in any capacity. So I just found that funny when he has to defend that, and I'm just like, why was that a question? You could understand anything.
There's too many kids that watch these movies for that.
That's what I'm saying. But also you could ask Tom Holland anything. Why was that what you decided to ask?
I have no idea. That was such a nice
like I don't understand that at all. Why would you that?
Exactly. It's weird question.
So that was really weird. But all right, what else do we got, Joel? I know we got some more news here. What else we got?
Let me look through.
Let's check it out.
Manga. I'm sorry.
Oh, do you care about Avatar 2?
Do I care about Avatar 2? I mean, not really. I mean, I want to see it. That matters at all.
No, if you want to see it, of course that matters. I have no interest in seeing any more of these fucking movies.
I enjoyed the first one. It was whatever, but I enjoyed it. It was pretty. So I'm down for whatever. As long as it looks good, I'll go watch it. That's usually how it works. Oh, here's a nice little small rumor. Apparently, one member of the MCU Fantastic Four has already been cast for a future film.
Oh, so that means he's in the movie. That means he's in Multiverse of Madness.
We don't know, because apparently Mr. Fantastic that's in the movie is not a new character. It's an old Mr. Fantastic.
That's
from another universe.
Now, let me say this. You know this, and this isn't me saying it because we might get him in this new Doctor Strange movie. You know I've always felt this. I love those first two Fantastic Four movies. I think the second movie was only ruined by a final act. Same thing I think with Amazing Spider-Man 2. I think it was just ruined by its final act. I think you could take a lot of good things from that movie, but the bad is just so glaring. The bad is just like, whoa, that's fucking abysmal. But I enjoyed those first two movies a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So much so when they decided, shout out to Josh Trank. Everyone knows Josh Trank is a friend of GVN's. I talked to him actually not too long ago. But when they rebooted it, I'm like, did people really fucking hate Rise of the Silver Surfer that much? Was
At
not
that
that
point, they
bad.
should have been rebooted. At that point, it's been a while. That was a swing and a miss. Personally, it is what it is. That movie was not good, but it also was, torn to shreds in the editing room.
That is
um,
also true.
it's-
Especially
it,
for a movie that did not need Galactus. You set up what should have been the final act of that movie. Doom getting the board, them stopping Doom from
that was silly.
utilizing the board.
That Doom getting the surfboard was silly.
Joel, if you had to choose between Doom getting that board and us getting that fucking cloud, you would have taken Doom getting the board.
Yeah, but the cloud was also silly. So it was a
No disagreement.
completely collapse. And having Doctor Doom 2 times, like 2 in a row like that, come on. If we're talking those movies, I was talking about the Trank ones, but
wait, you
that's
think
why
from Trank's universe is in this multiverse of madness?
no, I'm talking.
Okay. You
I was saying
what?
no. I was saying I was giving you my opinion on the Trank movies, and you went back to
got you.
Silver Surfer. But I look. It looks like again. The rumor is that it's going to be the Mr. Fantastic from those movies, the 05 movies. So we might be getting him back for that, for at least that role. So we'll see.
Ian Grunfeld. That should let you guys know how big of a fan I am. I know it's
Ian Gruduff.
No, it's Grunfeld.
Not Grunfeld.
You sure?
I just wrote it down. Ian Grufford. I'm sorry, Grufford.
Okay. I fucking love those movies, man. I fucking love those. I even watched not Anna, whatever that fucking that redhead actress action movie was, Anna. I watched that just to see Eon, only for him to be in that shit for like 3 seconds. I was just like, oh, this is.
I mean, the castings weren't that bad at the time,
I still think they hold up.
They're not bad. I mean, I just my issue, casting wise, they obviously could have just fucking hired a blonde, blue-eyed character instead of making Jessica Alba blonde and blue-eyed. That was frustrating. I'm like, why go all to that length? You could have just hired someone that was blonde and blue-eyed, but whatever. Now look, I love Jessica Alba.
But also that casting makes perfect sense. There was no one female more popular than Jessica Alba at that time.
Still, I mean, you could have done a better job with that. And Eon was a great casting choice. And of course, Chris Evans is fucking fantastic as fucking Human Torch. And that was before I even ever considered him for Captain America. I never would have because of the Human Torch.
I never considered Chris Evans for any of those roles. It was
me neither.
Surprised by both. I was just
because I always looked at him as more like comedic at the time, than serious. So him being Captain America was so out of left field for me because I was so used to him as the Human Torch in those movies, and I thought he did a good job as the Human Torch. And then after that, I'm like, oh, he would be a good Flash too, if you know what I mean. But obviously things did not work out that way. So he did become Captain America. Good on him. He's an incredible actor, so he could obviously do multiple things. But that was a good casting. And then the Thing casting wasn't bad. I just wasn't a fan of. He was too fucking small. I mean, honestly, bro, he was the shortest character. The Thing is not the shortest fucking Fantastic Four member.
Argument here. Again, they took the Sony route earlier than Sony did. They went swinging for the fences on all those names.
Not a bad.
The only one that wasn't that well known. Michael Chiklis is coming off Shield. Jessica Alba was easily the most popular female actress at that time, and then Chris Evans was more so of the under the radar funny guy that you go, oh, he could easily be the comical Johnny Storm. I even remember Vanessa Lachey was in that movie. I still don't understand why she was, but she was also one of the hottest people out at that time, getting with Nick Lachey. So a lot of that movie was very much so, I'm going to just cast names, faces that people know, and then we'll go from there. Yeah. I mean, hell, even swinging for the fences to get Lawrence Fishburne to voice Silver Surfer, and then getting what's his name from Nip and Tuck to be Dr. Doom. They easily were going for names. Nip and Tuck was winning so many awards around that time. It wasn't Nip and Tuck?
I believe it was just Nip Tuck.
Oh, sounds so aggressive. Nip tuck.
But no, yeah, he was popular at the time. I'm not a fan of what they did with Doctor Doom. Giving him, it was weird. They can never do Doctor Doom justice like I think the MCU will be able to. So I look forward to seeing what the MCU version of Doctor Doom looks like, because it's all set up for him to be exactly the character he needs to be in this universe. Whereas they could have had none, they had no foundation there in the Fantastic Four movie.
Right. I tell you what, Joel, Doctor Doom in the MCU alone is intriguing, but what makes it more intriguing is when Doctor Doom finds out about magic and then goes.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, he probably knows already about magic. That's the thing. Magic's a thing in this universe, where it wasn't in the other universe. That's the biggest thing.
I mean, it'll all depend on, are they giving us an already Victor, or are they origining Victor?
I don't need an origin.
I'm with you. I get it. I get it. I'm with you. But it's been such a long time for us. We get it. We know Doom. We understand it. But for mainstream, it's been a while since they got Doctor Doom.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I'm like, I could see that. I 100% could see them doing that. And if they do, it'll be interesting to see how they loop it into now. Because there's so much you have to overcome. Like, now I kind of feel like any new character you bring in, I want to know, bitch, were you blipped? Like, were you blipped? Tell me. Were you blipped?
In some aspects, that's important to know in certain.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So, like, there's just so much story here. You're right. Magic already exists. People know about it. But it also is intriguing. Is this a Victor Von Doom that becomes Doom now? Or has he been Doom for years? Because if he has, then I'm with you. He already knows magic. It's already intrigued him.
Right.
And getting Sorcerer Doom at some point. Can't wait. Can't wait. So I do want to ask you this, Joel, before we move on, because we're still talking Multiverse of Madness a little bit, talking this Fantastic Four stuff. Would you buy into the theory of Wanda reversing the events of the comics and her saying mutants, and that being what starts to breach things to creating the multiverse of mutants? Do you ever need that line, no more mutants or more mutants or any of that? Is that a line that you've ever been intrigued in hearing in the MCU?
Yeah, at one point, yeah, I thought it was a good idea to have her started, but like, it really depends on how it's done, because I don't know how, they just show up randomly all of a sudden. There's too much history with mutants to just have it just become a modern day thing. Mutants should be around for like a long time,
at least since the 60s.
Right. So for me, it's just like they need to be there, even from farther back. I mean, like, you can't use Apocalypse if you do that. You know what I mean? There's just so much. Mutants go far back, and they should be part of the Marvel history. And it's hard to establish mutants and not bring in their history, because that's a big part of it.
Right.
You know,
that's why me and you talked about it. I was disappointed that Eternals didn't at least lean on that a little bit. Yeah. I don't need you to go full on into it, but that movie should have explained why there are mutants. And the fact that it said nothing about it, I'm like, now I'm starting to get really scared that maybe they do go lazy and just bring them from somewhere else.
That's what I don't want either, because I want them integrated within the universe.
I'm 100%.
That'll be 100% the full MCU if you integrate the mutants correctly.
Right.
But that would take.
But that did scare me. Again,
a good narrative.
Could you loop back into that? 100%. But I thought that was a perfect moment to not only name drop Apocalypse, right? Like his actual name, not the
yeah.
Right. For you to drop that name and for you to say that the Celestials are the reason mutants exist. That's it. I don't need to see anyone. I don't need any cameos. Just you mentioning that, so that me and you could say, okay, they're going to organically bring in mutants. But when you didn't put that line there, I got so nervous. I'm like, shit, man, they're gonna probably bring them from somewhere, and I'm never gonna buy it. I'll accept it, but I'll never buy. It'll never make sense. It'll never make sense. It'll be very lazy. It'll always scream lazy. Always.
It bothers me just thinking of it because it's like mutants done right is mutants done right. I mean, there's only really one way. There's the right way and there's the wrong way. I don't want to see them come from another universe.
Right.
Because if you're gonna do that, might as well take the fucking Fox characters that you've already established and do that.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense. Now we know it looks like we're going to get mutants in the Multiverse of Madness, but from different universes. This is when we're going to be first introduced to the idea of mutation. So, I mean, we've already got inklings in WandaVision, technically. So if that's anything to be argued with, because like we look, to me, they kind of gave it away in WandaVision, the whole mutation thing. But so that right there tells you mutants probably do exist in that world. That right there, just in that series, tells you. So by doing that, you can avoid the whole taking them from another universe and bringing them in. I don't want the X-Men living. They've already been separate. Like, I want to bring them in.
Right. That's why I said the easiest way is like you said they were doing in the comics more recently. And I've been preaching this since the beginning. Just that they've been on an island. That they've had their whole Civil War moment. Where they fucked up. And they couldn't be trusted to be here anymore. So they live on their own island. And then finally, Wanda is what bridges the gap. Wanda goes, no, we will no longer be in hiding. Go ahead. I'm sorry. What were you saying?
No. I just realized Jimmy Graham was in Chicago. I didn't realize.
Every time I see him there, I forget that. Every time I see him, I'm like, fuck, didn't you retire?
I thought he retired.
I swear every time I see him, I go, damn, I thought you retired. But yeah, so Wanda can be what bridges your gap to where she doesn't want her kind to feel isolated anymore. She knows what that feels like.
Maybe this is where she finds out that she is a mutant.
Right. And that she brings them over.
But if the mutants exist, where are they? And then she finds out and wants to liberate them. And there's a whole bunch of that. But like where they've been living and hiding on this island of Krakoa, where, they've been hiding purposely,
Now, how tired are you to Wanda being Magneto's daughter, if indeed they do say mutants have been here all along, Magneto included? How much do you need that?
I would love that. I mean, that I would prefer that. Yeah, that's
because I said before when they killed Pietro, that if they don't go that route, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Mainly because I told you my dream was to always see Magneto with his 3 kids. So when you killed off Pietro and then you kind of made it seem like Wanda was more manufactured, obviously at the time because you had to, but she was more manufactured than naturally a mutant. I'm like, it just seems like I'll just never fucking get this. The cartoons and the comics did it. I guess that's my extent. But now it's kind of just like, well, I would love for Charles to see her and note it and like recognize her. And she has a sister. You know what I'm saying? I do want, and I blame the Gifted, because now I want Polaris. Now I want Polaris. If there's no Pietro, I gotta get Polaris. She has to have a sibling, someone that she could count on. You know what I'm saying? That can make things make more sense for her. In this thing called life. So yeah, I'm 100% on board with that. Me and you've agreed on that since they got the rights. You can't shoe it in. You can't just go, we just pluck them from here.
Yeah, I don't like that. No.
Can't do that. The same way no one would have liked it if that's what they did with Spider-Man. They just went, all right, here's Spider-Man. And it's just like, I'm sorry, why did you pluck him and not just create a new Spider-Man? Why did you do that?
Don't get me wrong, I wanted Andrew as Spider-Man.
I really did. That was only because at the time that was all you had.
Yeah.
But you were 100% fine with Tom once you saw Civil War.
I was fine as soon as they casted him. I was fine, but I was just. But originally, I was hoping that they just brought him along because I felt like he deserved, to just be integrated with him,
I mean, that movie, No Way Home, only made me sadder that he didn't get that opportunity. So where they're just like, I did this, and he's just like, I didn't do any of that stuff. I didn't get a chance to do any of that. That sucks.
Right.
Okay, so I want to give a shout out to Eric Voss. He was doing a breakdown of what me, you, and Joe were talking about yesterday, and I want to get your thoughts on this before we start to close out. He was saying that when they got sent back, it was like I was thinking. They got sent back to the moment in time for which each one of them were taken from. So when I said that Doc Ock went back to that moment, in that moment, that his machine was starting to
overload or whatever.
Overload, yes, overload. So I'm like, I assume now when he goes back, he probably makes the same sacrifice. So again, you did send him back to his untimely death. You go Norman Osborn. He's healed. But if he is healed, is it the moment before he dies? Is it before it? You know? And like you said, Jamie, he was being like literally energy surging through his body. So if you put him back there, he just drops to the ground.
Yeah. Like, I made me laugh the most. I'm like, that's not going to be fun.
Right. And Connors, again, I do believe Connors was plucked before he was ultimately, because Peter fixed him before. That's why when people are like,
I thought earlier in the movie.
Right. That's why when we were talking the other day and people were just like, I think it was so just like convenient how each of them had the cure. And I'm like, first of all, Peter said, Peter said, I've been thinking about how to cure Goblin for so long now.
They're old. They already lived through it.
Yeah. Right. Andrew had already cured the lizard before, so it was just a matter of, let me just duplicate it.
That's the first thing he said. Like, I already did the lizard. I could do that.
Right. Electro wasn't convenient because Peter had figured that out. He figured that out. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, nobody's fixings was just convenient. Mm-hmm. We had some of the greatest minds of all time in that one room. Norman, Otto, in Peter's. Obviously it wasn't at the same point. It was at a different point. But right. Like, it was the greatest minds. This isn't like we had Black Widow creating cures for all these villains, and you just go, wait a minute.
Yeah, these aren't stupid.
Right, like, wait a minute. Are you that smart to figure this out? So I'm like, that's never a stretch. It's never a stretch.
Right.
So yeah, so I found that interesting. So he goes, technically, because when the two Spider-Men return, they return to a different timeline than when the villains return to. So yes. Nothing changes for their timeline because their timeline has already happened. So he was saying Sandman's timeline, Otto and Norman are still dead because his timeline that he's being brought back to is a timeline where they were already gone.
Yeah, they're all different branches or whatever.
Right,
the fuck.
Right.
Here's my one issue with all of that. Mm-hmm. I don't care. Whatever happened. That's done. They're gone and they're out of my way. Whatever. They were explained it perfectly fine. I don't care what happened to them afterwards. It's fine. It is what it is. I'm worried about Peter going forward. Don't care what it is. I'm never going to see those branches ever. Who gives a shit? Like, you know what I mean?
We don't know. That'd be interesting if we saw, we don't need to see the characters, but if we see in Loki, them going there to nix those branches.
Let them nix all they want. I don't care.
I would love that.
There's going to be so many different branches, you know, that are being made right now that are not being fixed. It's going to be a lot of crazy shit. And so, will the TVA ever be a thing? Well, I mean, technically the TVA does exist. Yep. What are they doing? I don't know.
I'm not protecting the sacred timeline. That's for damn sure.
All right. I'm not sure what Kang has them doing.
Yeah. So. Kang just has them doing his bidding, which is interesting to see what his bidding is. What the fuck does Kang want? Is it power? Is it knowledge? Is it technology? Who the fuck knows? But all right. What else do we got? We went through the shows first. We don't want to talk sports, right?
We could talk a little bit, but nothing major because I don't care too much about that. Sorry.
All right. Yes. Kimba did exactly what were you looking at?
I have some. We'll talk off when we get because there's a lot more leaks. So I just wanna. We'll talk about it after.
Okay.
We finish this.
Kemba Walker did exactly what me and you said Kemba Walker would do, which is prove that he was 100% not the problem. He is part of a problem, but he is not the problem.
No.
Enough where he needed to be taken out of the lineup.
Correct.
Simple as that. There you go. They also lost the game they should not have lost.
I agree. But when the bench gives you 3 points.
To be fair, most of that bench that is productive was out with COVID.
That's what I mean. That's why they're not supposed to, but they're missing like 8 guys.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta,
But
at that point,
Kemba and Fournier played well enough for the Knicks to overcome that. At some point, Kemba gave us the lead in the third quarter, and it was just
offensively they did.
Right.
But when we needed to lock down, they are what they are.
Yeah, fucking Pritchard or whatever the fuck was making shots. It's like, who are you?
Hey,
who are you?
He's a good player.
I didn't know who any of these people were, and I'm just like, he hit this shot from deep. Who the fuck is this guy? I swear to God, anytime teams play the Knicks, there's always somebody who averages 3 points per game that comes and drops 90. And it's just like, what the fuck? What?
What the?
Why do you only wake up when you play the Knicks? And then the next night they'll play the Lakers and he'll have his good old 3 points. It's like, I don't understand. Is there something that just screams bitch on our foreheads that that players see and they just go, I'm going to eat you alive?
It's Josh Richardson at a fucking, 27 points?
Yeah, man. Look, Ricky Rubio has not had even close to the amount of points he had in that one Knicks game since. What is it about us, bro? I don't understand. I don't. I really don't. It wasn't even in Madison Square Garden, so you can't even go, oh, they just wanted to play well in New York. It was in Boston.
Yeah.
It was in Boston.
I mean, look, our guys showed up for them. So, I mean, I can't imagine their fans were happy that Kemba Walker and Fournier were lighting them up.
But at least you can look at Kemba and Fournier and go, okay, that makes sense. Those guys are like some offensive guys. I don't know who the fuck Pritchard is. I don't know who this guy. I'm watching the game. I keep hearing his name. I'm like, who is he? Like, is this the multiverse version of Pritchard? Like, what is this? What am I sitting through?
Hating Pritchard.
So that was just not a good night for me. I'm sitting there watching the Knicks and the Patriots just completely shit themselves, and I'm like, oh my god.
I don't
know what's happening here. I don't know what's happening here. So it was a very emotional Saturday for me. I didn't speak to a soul that Saturday. I couldn't.
I was busy Saturday, so I didn't get a chance to watch. So lucky me.
Yeah, and I wasn't messaging you or nothing. I was just like, you know what? I just don't want to be bothered with anything. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna honestly cry if I think about it. But all right. Did you want to talk anything else from? Did you want to talk about your boy AD out for 3 to 4 weeks and him just not looking himself?
It's allowed to go fuck about the Lakers.
I just meant AD, not the success of the Lakers. Yeah. Just Anthony Davis. That's it.
He's a Laker, so that's connected.
All right, so clearly we have nothing else basketball to talk about.
Yeah. So they come back, like the kid. It's funny, all the kids got sick, all of them.
All of them. And it's just
they all had after a career game.
Right. It's like what hookers were you guys stepping out with that got you COVID? What were you doing?
What kind of circle jerk was going on with these young bastards?
Goodness gracious. Who coughed once and then like siphoned it in and then spread it? Like what's happening here? Yeah. They just shut down your boy Daniel Jones for the rest of the season because of his neck.
They did.
So it seems a little worrisome that neck is a little worse off than we thought it was.
I'm a little worried.
Because Daniel keeps saying each interview, no. It's cool.
I'm fine.
And then you have Joe Judge coming out going, fine. Daniel Jones isn't a doctor, so end of that. There we go. There you guys go. That keeps asking me. He's not a doctor, so
yeah. Basically.
Listen to me, who spoke to his doctor. Don't listen to the guy who just wants to keep playing. This is what I wanted to ask you because we were talking about it this morning on Monday Morning Quarterback. I was under the impression, and it's completely my fault, that Russell Wilson was going to be a free agent. He is not.
So. Yeah, no.
So it means if the Giants were to get him, if I'm the Seahawks, there's no way I'm not asking the Giants to leverage their entire future, not half their future, their entire future to get.
No, that's why I'm not doing that.
I'm not trading Russell Wilson to the NFC. So I'm like, if I'm going to, you have to offer me some insane package. Like I could put my name on your stadium type shit. Like, you'd have to offer me a king's ransom and then some. Because people keep saying NFC teams, and I'm like, if you're the Seahawks, you just can't be that stupid. You just can't be. Picture how good Popovich felt that he traded Kawhi to the Raptors and he went and won a title. He at no point had to ever go through Kawhi Leonard unless they met in the finals. You could live with that every day of the week. I shipped him off to the AFC and he went and won a Super Bowl. I didn't have to ever face him in the NFC. I could live with that. But if you're the Giants, the biggest problem is, what could you even offer them? Even if let's say they were asking for something respectable.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have? Are you going to give them your first round picks so they can maybe go get a quarterback to replace Russell Wilson? A player would have to be added. Sterling Shepard can't be your player. Ingram maybe. So I don't even know. I don't know. I'd say the Giants have a better chance going after Jamal Adams, taking on that contract. Go get that guy. Go get a stout defensive player to kind of anchor your defense. But yeah, so I just wanted to know, would you be willing to give up a king's ransom for Russell Wilson?
No, who the fuck wants to? No.
No
in no way possible. I'd rather watch a whole season of Jake Fromm than fucking give up a king's ransom. Are you serious?
Oh my god, that is crazy. I think, and again, I'm not a Giants fan, but I think as a football fan, I would be more accepting of it if I thought the Giants were only a quarterback away from a Super Bowl.
Well, we're obviously not. So.
No, but that's what I'm saying. If the Giants were, then I would go, oh, yeah. Give them whatever. Go win you a few Super Bowls with Russell Wilson, and then who gives a fuck about 5 years?
He was ransom? No, hell no. Good picks this year. It really does worry me how bad his injury is. Then you got to start thinking like, how serious is it? If it's not serious, then I'm not worried.
I think if it was serious enough for them to shut him down for the rest of the season, it's at least something that you guys should be looking at quarterback-wise in this draft. That's going to have a few really good quarterbacks. And if you think about it, nobody else that's like really sucks right now is in desperate need of a quarterback, right? You go Carolina, they're not going to have the greatest record, but are they ready to officially say the three guys they have as quarterbacks, none of them is worthy enough to take at least another year or two? You know what I'm saying? The NFL right now isn't that desperate for quarterbacks. I'm like, it's prime for the Giants to use one of those picks to go get you a solid quarterback. Even if Daniel Jones can get back to 100%, that neck thing is very tricky, man. Peyton Manning was just he had that one good season for Denver and then was just never the same. It could just be old age. I won't argue that. But his mobility and throwing ability was just really fucking shitty.
Well, we gotta wait and see. I'll see how bad it is first.
I mean, look, worst comes to worst, call Eli.
Eli, come out of retirement.
Yeah, and just say, Eli, you want to put that shit on anything? Yeah, I'll put that shit on anything. Yeah, whatever you guys need, I got you. Don't worry. Hot sauce, throwing footballs, turning footballs over, whatever you need, I got you.
I'll make a phone call to what's his name? What was his name? He was the Colts quarterback.
Andrew Luck.
Yeah, like Luck, what you doing?
Bro, Andrew Luck is falling so far off the radar. I don't even know if this man is still alive. I don't know where.
That's the guy you want to call. See if he wants to come back. Like, hey, Andrew.
It's like, look, I know the whole reason you left is your team didn't have an offensive line. Ours is much better, but look, it's New York. It's not Indianapolis. It's New York.
We have a lot of picks,
Right. And then you just hear a dial tone, and you're just like, "Fuck, damn it, Andrew."
Andrew, hello?
Yeah, hello. Well, you have a kid. Does he want to play? Somebody? No. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. I'll also be interested to see what the Knicks do around this trade deadline. That's
better do something.
Approaching. They are fastly approaching. And you know what made me sad, Joel? I watched the Timberwolves the other day, and I'm like, fuck, you guys are starting to look like you're putting things together. Like, why can't you just lose more so Cat asks to get out of here so he can come home? Why? Why Anthony Edwards?
Talk about our king's ransom. They want to rape us for that too.
It wouldn't be draft picks. You can have my players. I don't give a fuck. You can have them.
They're definitely gonna want picks. That's important.
It depends on what picks. Like the picks for Melo, it wasn't necessarily the picks that they chose. It was the longevity of picks that we gave. That was just like, oh no. It's so long that you gave them. It's like, how many years worth of picks are you gonna give them for Carmelo? So for me, if they want if they want next year's draft picks, right? Take them. Take Mitchell Robinson, take Julius. Just give me Karl Anthony Towns.
I told you stop trying to give us Julius. I'm like, what? He's good.
He's good, man. Take him. I told you, my dream is Emmanuel Quickly, Quentin Grimes, RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin, Karl Anthony Towns. That is my wettest dream of a starting lineup. I'll take that every day of the week. Every day of the week. I want that, and I want to roll the dice and see what that could be.
I'll settle for Jericho Sims just because I think Cat's too expensive. But fuck it. That'll be a hell of a summer league team. I can't wait to go.
I'm just saying, I'll be very interested because look, if Karl Anthony Towns will be a king's ransom,
hell yeah,
Miles Turner is going to be like a few notches below that. It won't be any cheaper.
If it wasn't for, yes, it will be. Over Cat? You kidding me?
Miles Turner's having a great season this year, though.
Having a good season, but no way is he having Cat season. Cat's like a double and fucking shooting percentage. And the only thing really that Miles Turner is really doing is his blocks are fucking ridiculous right now. Like,
is there any way we could package that? Like give Indiana Jules and we take back Sabonis and Miles Turner.
That would make no sense for Indiana.
Take it, Indiana, and then flip it. Take it.
I wonder what it will take to get Miles Turner, but I doubt it's definitely not going to be King's ransom.
I'll be interested because look, if Miles Turner doesn't take much, ain't no way in hell you're convincing me to give you anything more for Sabonis. If that's what it took to get Miles Turner,
Sabonis, you're going to get more for Sabonis than you are for Turner.
No, I'm saying I'm not giving you much more than what you're asking for Miles Turner. Sabonis is a really good player. Don't get me wrong. Really, really, really good.
Ridiculously good player.
Not enough for a King's ransom.
No, he's not a King's ransom, but he's better than Miles Turner.
Oh, for sure.
Right now. Maybe not with us, he'll probably be. Miles Turner might be better with us because of spacing. It just seems like because Miles Turner seemed like he was rising, and then Sabonis got there, and then like he kind of suffered because Sabonis got all the touches and all the extra shit. So Miles kind of suffered for it, and it looked more down upon. And he is, but I think he's better than his numbers are giving, than the numbers are saying. No, that's all.
That's why I said there's just no way you could have Julius Randle and Miles Turner on the same team.
How you figure?
I feel as though, again, it's the same problem of Miles Turner will be doing what he's doing in Indiana and in New York. Because you can face just the same with Sabonis. But if you're not being able to do much because there's just too many offensive pieces in Indiana, coming here won't be any different.
Disagree. Because Julius has way more off nights than Sabonis. He's going to have way more time to check it out. Trust me.
But will Jules pass it much? Will he pass it?
Yeah. Have you seen him? The whole problem this year is that Julius is passing too much. He's not shooting. He's just not shooting the ball. It's fucking ridiculous.
This guy just will not find a fucking common ground. I don't understand. How does he look at last year and just go, nah, that didn't work. I won't duplicate that. Bro, you found a way.
He is not shooting as well as last year, but he's also not taking as many shots as last year.
That's confusing. I don't understand. Last year was a perfect season. You were passing, you were rebounding, you were shooting. Why did you come into this year and feel as though you needed to be different?
He be coming into games like taking 3 shots. I'm like, bro, it's halftime. How you only have 3 shots?
Yeah, I'm not paying you to have 3 shots. That's for damn sure. I can tell you that right now. I'm not paying you for 3 shots.
Yeah. Now, like, he had to go crazy. Like, the other day, even though he didn't have the best game against Boston, but I'll check how many fucking shots he had against Boston. I can tell you right now.
Boston should have been a game he looked to take over. The fact
that
Fournier,
but let's see if he did.
The fact that Fournier and Kemba had 30, and I think Jules finished the night with 19, maybe 20.
Yeah, 20 points, 6 for 19. So look, he did take the shots against Boston. They weren't the best because obviously 6 for 19 is not good.
But you also got to just be more aggressive. Attack the paint.
Yeah, right.
Attack the paint more. Just stop settling for jump shots. Attack the paint. How Julius Randle has a bigger body than Melo, but won't get in the paint will always be confusing to me. I'll never understand. Melo loved the paint. Melo loved the paint until his body couldn't do it anymore.
Melo is not the best. I love it. He would be in the paint. He'd be throwing over the rim. I'm like, get out of it. Just get out of the paint.
No, but Melo did start his career very much bully ball. He did like the paint. He
liked the contact, but they wouldn't call it. So he was starting to flinch at this point. Like, they're gonna hit me, they're not gonna call it. I'm gonna miss. This is the bullshit. Why get in the paint?
That's why Melo used to get to that center, that not center, but the side of the rim, and he'll pump fake you. He'll pump fake you into a shot. Jab step, right to the paint. Because Melo wasn't. Melo was just like, y'all not calling this shit. So
yeah, true.
That's a no for me. I don't think we have anything else big. I don't really need to talk about. I really didn't sit with that Fantastic Beast trailer, so I don't really have anything to talk about with that.
So I haven't seen it.
I haven't really sat with it yet. I want to watch it a few more times and sit with it. The Harry Potter trailer for the reunion, I don't really want to. I told you I have no interest in that unless it's you telling me you're giving me something else from this world. And as of now, the head of HBO was saying that they're talking with what's her name, but nothing's really happening right now. So I'm like, well, call me when something happens, and I'll care. But till then, I don't care about reunions. I really don't. Outside of that, that's really it. I'm on episode 7 of The Witcher, but I'm gonna start over because I swear to God, I feel like I'm missing something.
I just finished 4, so I'm on 5.
Because I swear to God, The Witcher bounces around to the point where I swear to God, I think I missed something. Like 2 people will be in the same room that weren't in the same room before, and I'm just like, where did you come from? I missed something. I know I had to, and I'm not gonna say anything because I don't want to say the wrong.
At least it's linear this time. Before it was like different time. It would jump to different time periods. Like, when was this?
Yeah, but I will say the one thing The Witcher does handle well is the fact that there's so many stories being told at once. And it all does converge, but it's just like, all right, okay, this player, okay, this player, okay, all right, hold on now. Like, wait a minute, hold on. But I will say Henry Cavill, this was just, I could have never pictured anyone else as Geralt than Henry Cavill.
Does a great job.
I tell you what, this second season has been so great. I booted up Witcher 3. I booted it up, started playing it, and was just like, I got the feel back. I got the feel back for The Witcher. So
yeah, I'm getting the itch too. I have to start it soon. So
100%. I got to get on that wild hunt, bro. You know what I'm saying? Get on that wild hunt.
The DLC, man.
Yeah, one thing they haven't really utilized much in this show, unless I'm just forgetting, which, as you know, is very possible. I want to see him utilize the difference between his 2 swords more. Because in the game, they go big into why he has 2 swords. It's not just the look of it.
No, one's silver, one's steel.
Right.
That's why one's for monsters more than the other ones are for regular people. But
right.
But yeah, they don't emphasize it as enough. Like most of the time, he'll carry the steel sword and put the silver sword in like a case.
Right.
Like I want him wearing it together.
Yeah,
like
wear them both. Yeah, like because at any point a monster could just show up or a regular person. It's like you got to have them both on. You never know. The way they write it, he'll ride into a scene and a monster will appear, and he'll always have the right sword on him, depending on human or monster. I want it to be like, how it is when me and you played it, where it's like, shit, I only have enough in this one sword, and there's a monster I gotta kill right now. So that's why I said I wish that they kind of made it to where it's important to know the difference between the 2 swords. Again, it takes nothing away from how great the show is. I'm not even saying this is something that if you don't do, I'll be disappointed. whatever you want to do. I'm just saying the swords are more important than the show is making them seem.
Right. I mean, there's differences, obviously. And I would say also there are a lot of references to the animated movie, which I appreciate. Pay off in this season.
Oh, for Vesemir? Yeah.
I was like, oh, I remember that. Oh, I know that reference.
Joel turned into Captain America and Avengers. Oh, I got that reference.
Yeah, I know. I remember that. Yep. Remember that.
Oh man, the Bears fucking suck ass. But no, it's been really good.
Good. We got their pick.
So actually, what I think I'm gonna do, Joel, is I'm gonna stop. I just finished 6, and it just started to go into 7. I haven't started 7 yet. I'm gonna stop till you get to 7, and then when you get to 7, I'm gonna continue. So we're on the same page.
Okay.
So that next show, hopefully, we'll still be at the same point, so we can talk more about it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because I hate being even a little bit ahead, because I'll run my mouth and forget mid-conversation, like, shit, you haven't even gotten that far.
Yeah, I usually take my time, but this one I've seen more episodes than I should have at this point, because I watched like one earlier today, like before we got on. I was like watching one, so like I'll probably get to 7 tomorrow.
Yeah, that's fine. Whenever you get, because I did want to take my time with this, only because I wanted to kind of spread it, forgetting that we had Book of Boba just next week. Because I wanted to spread it just because Hawkeye ends, and I wanted some content to have. But then I immediately was just like, fuck, Matrix, and then Book of Boba. I will have content almost immediately.
Right away.
So I'm like, I don't need to rush through it, but I also don't need to go as slow as I thought I needed to before, because there would be such a lapse of content.
I'll say this. Like it's already different from at least the game, in the fact that like Eskill's dead. Eskill's not dead in the game, and the game takes place much further in the future. So
right.
Like,
and can I also say something that I thought was interesting? At no point in the game can you ever do the trick that this Witcher does, where he drinks the potion and his eyes become full black.
You could drink potions. It's just that visual is different.
Right, that visual doesn't happen. They also don't explain what that does to him.
And they did last season. They explained what
I don't remember. It
enhances their ability. I forget exactly. It's been a while since.
Does it do it for us in the game?
Yeah.
Okay.
It changes.
Okay.
I forget. It's been a long time since I played The Witcher, but it does something. The whole black eyes thing is a TV show thing, but whatever works.
I thought it was weird that you didn't just say like he drinks a potion and it enhances. We didn't need a visual.
They're like elixirs. I forget what they are. I didn't use them a lot, but it is helpful.
I swear, watching you play, I looked at it and I was just like, oh, I did none of this. Like, this would have made life so much easier. Like, Joel's powering up, enhancing shit, and I'm just running right into the woods, like, and I'm watching you, and I'm like, oh, that would have made so much more sense.
Okay. You gotta. It's like an RPG. You gotta upgrade your armor, your weapons, and the best way to do it really is to do a lot of the, what do they call it for the posts? I forget what they're called. Do a lot of hunts, basically. Just do a lot of like get experience, get money, and then you get stronger faster. By the time you get to do like missions and shit, like the monsters are not as hard. I was so fucking strong by the end of that game. I was
like I said, I wish when I played it, I did it that way. But you know me, I'm running guns. Put me in the room. That's why my dad hates watching when I play Hitman. He's just like, bro, how did you not sneak and poison her? I'm like, I thought it was easier to just put a bullet in her head. It's like, but now you got to escape from cops.
Yeah, now you got to run.
Like, that's what I would do every time. I would just put bullets in their heads, hide out. Put bullets in their heads, hide out. Like, that's why when I remember my dad got so angry. I got to one part, Joel, where I walked in the kitchen and it was just like, you could poison the stew. And I'm just like, oh, shit. So I did need to shoot up her in the entire room and then run away. I could have just poisoned the soup and she ate it. Like, oh, gotcha. I made life way harder than it needed to be. Way hard. Like I'm going through now and I'm seeing like, oh, you could have just dropped the chandelier on her.
How'd you even get through the Arkham games? Like, because the Arkham games you have to do the same thing a lot of the time. Just don't rush in. Take your time. Take them out slowly.
If it allows me, I'll say this because I don't remember the game that vividly. If it allowed me to jump in and fight people, it's 100% what I did every time. If it allowed me to, that's 100% what I did.
You didn't beat a lot of games growing up, did you?
Well, to be fair, growing up, I was just playing stuff like Pokemon and Mario and stuff that you really couldn't jump in. Yeah, you couldn't do anything like that. It wasn't until I got games. It's just like, hey, you want to jump in, and I'm like, fuck yes, I do. I have no patience to poison her coffee and then wait there till she drinks the fucking thing. I'll put a bullet in her face.
I live for that shit. Even in Spider-Man, I love stealth missions where I'm sitting there and I gotta time the webbing and then put this guy because you got to be very careful. People catch you. You can't get through certain levels without literally doing stealth missions.
I get you. I hate those.
And it's like I love stuff. I love stuff. I've always like Metal Gear Solid is a stealth game. I can't wait for fucking what's it called? They're making a reboot. Ubisoft. What's his name? Sam Fisher. What's his name?
Oh yes. Splinter Cell.
Splinter Cell. They're rebooting it. I'm like, I can't wait for that because that's a stealth game. I love stealth.
The last one. Oh man, I did stealth as little as feasibly possible. As little as possible. If I could just jump down and just get in a shootout and hide out and just duck out and start shooting, that's exactly what I did.
I saw the opposite of it.
Bro, I'm trying to get through this, man. I have no patience when it comes to some of these games, bro. That's why I told you my favorite kind of games are open world, where you could just go and do whatever. There is no like, you gotta stealthily walk through here. It's just, bro, do you want to drive the car through the building?
See?
And
that's what I don't like. I hate when there's just no structure. Like, it's like, what am I doing? This is so boring. I can't do
No, but that's what I tell you. I tell you, Grand Theft, and I'm only speaking about Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto is structured quite like Red Dead Redemption 2 to be. It gives you the freedom to do whatever you want, but it is
that's
very
why
based.
But that's why for me, all I remember of doing all I know of Grand Theft Auto is doing just freelance fucking shit up.
Because that's just what people like.
Because that's all people do, right? And that's all I knew. So I didn't really get to I played some missions. I didn't play a lot of missions. It just never appealed to me. But Red Dead did. Red Dead was really fucking cool. I mean, if this is how fucking Grand Theft Auto is, but it's not. I also like the setting. I like the Western setting.
Oh, okay, then that's different. Because I was gonna say it's exactly like that. It's mission based, but at any point in Red Dead, you could just ride around and just do whatever you want. But there are missions that keep you structured. Grand Theft Auto is the exact same way. There's missions that keep you structured. People are just more interested in let me go get all my stars up and fight cops.
That's all I knew. And every time someone was playing it, they never played it correctly. So I'm like, that's all I knew. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
But that's definitely not what its purpose. It's just like Halo. Me and Jamie were telling you, people don't play. You even saying this? I'm sorry. People don't play the campaign. People just play online.
Right.
Online.
I never played the campaign, but I never had the game. That's why. So when I played it, it was only the play like multiplayer.
That's why I always think it's funny when Call of Duty gives like a whole story campaign, like a trailer, and it's just like, bro, who do you think gives a fuck? People are just gonna buy it, play online.
I have a friend. I have a friend that's just like that. Like, he doesn't give a fuck about the story. He just wants to play online.
Right.
I'm like,
that's why I'm like, at some point, if you're Call of Duty, you gotta go. But we're putting a lot of work into this, and no one cares. So,
some people care.
Here's online.
I would care because I like the story, but I know a lot of people that don't. Those are the game. Those games, like for me, those are not. That's not me because I like to be by myself and like play out the story. You know what I mean?
I'm not really an online kind of guy. Andrew got me into that. when he and our friend Devontae were just like, bro, we should play Grand Theft Auto or Red Dead online together. And I'm like, oh, you could do that? And then when they showed me, I'm just like, this is pretty awesome. But
I got invited to do Red Dead online. I thought about it, but I don't play online. So it's like for me, it was just like,
I will tell you this, Joel. It is probably the most frustrated and enjoyable experiences ever. Because what's frustrating about playing Grand Theft Auto online is you spawn, right? You spawn. All you did was land. You just go walk around to see what's going on, and someone just drives by, runs you over, shoots you in the face, and you're just like, bro, I didn't even breathe yet, and you killed me. And then it's just a constant fucking loop of that. To where you spawn, someone comes in, kills you, and you're just like, hold on. I can't, man. Like, give me a second.
But that's how most shooters are. So for like, that's why I'm not really into shooting games. Just I want a narrative. That's how it is for me.
I'm with you. And I used to not be interested in stories, but I did start to see stories. And I'm like, this is really fucking good. I won't skip it. I'll sit through the story. But at first, I was just like, get me the fuck out of here. Killing. That's what I'm here for. Let me kill. But I did, as you know, as the years went, I'm like, I like these stories. Okay. But all right, guys, that's all me and Joel got for you on this week's Much to Do About Nothing. Stay tuned for an all-new Figure It Out this week and an all-new Marvel Cinematic Review where we will be breaking down the season finale of Hawkeye. So stay tuned for all that. We got some stuff coming. Joe on his channel, I know, is doing his Hawkeye and Spider-Man review earlier in the morning. I'm like, no, Joel will be working. There's no way he'll be part of it. He's like, no, I figured, but I want to extend the invitation. I said, no, he'll love that, but he won't be there.
Wednesday?
No, it's Thursday at like one's at 12, one's at 1.
I have half a day Thursday, but I don't know. It depends. I got plans too, so we'll see.
If you want to, the invitation has been extended. Just let me know. All right. But all right, guys, stay tuned. We have so much coming up this week. And please, everyone, have a safe and enjoyable holiday this weekend. But please, the emphasis is on the safe. Wear your mask. Be mindful. Be respectful. It's crazy out there. The Unicron, Decepticon, whatever's going on out there is crazy. So please be careful.
Unicron is out there, baby. Be careful.
Yeah, watch out for Megatron. He's out here getting people sick. So just be careful. But we love you guys, and we hope you have an amazing holiday, and we will see you on the other side of Christmas. Same time, same place next week. Till then,
Merry Christmas.
Peace.